All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but we are now here and ready to go as we are moments away from the drop of the green flag for today's Kansas Lottery 200 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. It is the third playoff race of the season, so therefore we are in the elimination race of the round as we take place on this 1.5 mile racetrack. 5 races left into crowning a champion on this NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series season. And of course, with this being an elimination race, we will get the playoff field cut from 10 to 8 following the conclusion of this 134 lap race, 201 mile event. The stage splits today will be 30, 30, and 74. The pit window will be 50 to 55 laps for fuel. So there will be no pit stops on the first 2 stages other than the stage ends, and there will be 1 mandatory pit stop that will have to be made for fuel purposes at least during the final stage. We'll go through the starting lineup for tonight's race as we are about to get going green. Chase Purdy going to be on the pole, non-playoff driver, out-qualifying all the playoff drivers for this weekend. Nick Sanchez will start outside of the front row in second. Ty Majeski and Jack Wood will be in row 2. Jake Garcia, Ben Rhodes in row 3. Haley Deegan, Christian Eckes in row 4. And then Jesse Love, Jake Drew will round out the top 10 in row number 5. Matt DiBenedetto, Grant Enfinger will line up in row 6. Row 7, Dean Thompson and Zane Smith. Corey Hyman, Taylor Gray will be in row 8. Carson Hocevar with Tanner Gray in row 9. And Raja Karuth and Stuart Friesen round out the top 20 in row 10. Tyler Ankrum and Bailey Curry will line up in row number 11. Daniel Dye, Brett Holmes in row 12. Caden Honeycutt, Mason Maggio in row 13. Row 14, Spencer Boyd and Greg Van Alst. Row 15 will be Justin Carroll and Jennifer Jo Cobb making her first start of the season. Matt Crafton and Colby Howard will be in row 16. Timmy Hill and Lawless Allen in row 17, and then rounding out the 36 truck field tonight will be Spencer Davis and Chase Janes in the 36 truck field here for today's race. As far as the point standings coming into this one, we'll take a look at that as well. Again, this is the final race of the first round of the playoffs for the Truck Series. 2 drivers are locked into the next round with wins already in the round, and that would be Grant Enfinger and Ty Majeski. 2 more drivers locked themselves in off of points in the last race into the round of 8. That would be Corey Hyman, Christian Eckes. We have 4 drivers vouching for 6 spots in tonight's race. 2 of them pretty comfortably above the cutoff line, have a very good chance of clinching their way in based off of these first 2 stages, that being Carson Hocevar plus 56 points and Zane Smith being plus 29 points. Where it is tight in the point standings, though, is going to be 6th, or I should say 8th through 10th in the running order. Right now, Matt Crafton comes into this race just 9 points to the good. 3 points to the good for rookie Nick Sanchez, who starts outside of the front row. Ben Rose, former champion in the Truck Series, will be 3 points behind Sanchez to start this race. And Matt DiBenedetto, minus 20, not in a must-win situation, but needing to capitalize with a lot of playoff points in today's race through the stages and through the actual race finishing order. They've already checked pit road time, so we are getting, again, ready to go green here in a matter of moments. I believe they'll be getting the 1 to go signal this time by. Jack Wood also trying to fight for the Owners' Championship in that 51 truck coming into the race today as well. We'll take a look at the Owners' standings while we're at it right now. Again, because the 23 and the 98 team have already won, they will be locked into the next round. So we look at the point standings. Let's see here. So the 25 team of Matt DiBenedetto would be the first driver below the cutoff line instead of the second. The ThorSport Racing 88 truck did not make the playoffs. Crafton made it for the driver standings, but the 88 team did not make it for the Owners' Championship. And then Ben Rhodes, who comes in 3 points behind Nick Sanchez, will actually be above the cutoff line for the Owners' standings, as he is currently 7th overall. But because, again, the 98 team does have a win in the round, that points paying penalty, as you see, does not take them out of contention. They are still locked in, but the playoff points have gotten taken away from the next round in the round of 8. So basically the win that he ended up getting at Milwaukee earlier in the round was basically nullified, not for this round specifically, but for next round, and carrying those playoff points over. Jackson Thomas, Terry Lewis, Ice Demon King 92 Hammer, Frank Powers, and Acer India. Thanks for tuning in. Up to 11 likes on the stream. I'll put a poll in the chat. I'm not sure I'm going to get it finished here before the start of the race, but I'll put a poll to see who you think will win tonight's truck race at Kansas. Pace truck is on its way to pit road. And the green flag is upon us. And we will get this elimination race underway. Right out of the gate, Matt DiBenedetto not taking off on the inside of row 3. They're going to be nearly 3 and 4 wide behind them as they're side-by-side for the race lead into turns 1 and 2. Nick Sanchez, who was not the control truck on the initial start, will take the lead from the bottom lane through turns 1 and 2 and lead off of the exit of that corner and down the back straightaway. Contact in the middle of the pack as they were still 3 wide, and nearly Raja Karuth gets squeezed up into the outside wall into turn 2. Big loose moment on the bottom of the racetrack. Now trying to catch his race truck up to the outside is Ty Majeski in the 98. Side by side for second place as they cross the start-finish line. A lot of jostling around for position going on. 4 wide again on the front stretch heading into turn 1. Wild start to this thing. Chase Purdy side by side still for second with Ben Rhodes. Rhodes on the outside. Just allowing Nick Sanchez to pull away quite a bit. More 3 wide race in the middle of the pack. And again, the 98 overdrives the entry to turn 3. 2 laps in a row. And that time he almost cleaned up the race truck to his outside, which was Christian Eckes. Eckes gets by for position. Jake Garcia going to get by. Move into the top 5. Jake Drew will now move into the 6th place spot. Majeski falls back to 7th here in these first couple laps of the race. Chase Purdy losing a little grip in the bottom lane in turns 1 and 2. Rhodes will complete the pass and hang on for second place down the backstretch into turn 3. Purdy now going to go all the way to the outside lane near the wall through turns 3 and 4. Try to get some of that ground back down the front stretch by carrying a little bit more straightaway speed than Rhodes will from the bottom lane. Side by side for 4th now between Eckes and Garcia. A little bit behind that battle for 2nd going on. Eckes on the outside lane. Jake Garcia down on the bottom. And Garcia will be clear for 4th. Showing that initial start through 3 of 4. Majeski getting really tight going up the racetrack again. Great job not making contact with anybody there. St. Smith, Grant Enfinger quickly entering the top 10 now, along with Jack Wood right behind the 98 of Majeski, who is falling back out of the start of the race.
Have to watch Jack Wood. He qualified so well. He's back to the 8th position. Can he rally and get back up toward the top 5?
You know, we've seen this out of Nick Sanchez time and time again. Starts up front, leads a bunch of laps. But the second half, he hasn't been able to seal the deal. He's had some good finishes. He just hasn't found victory lane yet. We heard the report talking about how confident Nick Sanchez is. So I wonder if this will be his place. And, you know, in the Arkham and Art series, Bill, we've talked about him. We've called Nick Sanchez winning, not once but twice at Kansas.
Yeah, he led 168 laps on the mile and a half in Texas before getting wrecked on the very last lap. So he knows how to get it done on the mile and a half. Watch this 88 truck all the way up to the 23rd position so far, and he's sparking. Like I said, I know if you're watching home, you're like, well, that can't be good. You're dragging them out. It is a good thing. His truck is set up well, even though he's never practiced the lap in it. They were scales earlier today when I talked to Matt, and he said, I believe in my boys, and I believe we can get the job done. So Jake Garcia, that's the white and black number 35. He was able to get by the 4 of Chase Purdy in that battle for 3rd. Now Chase was able to get back by him. I think that was a crossover. Exactly. Made the move on Purdy in that 4, but he couldn't hold it down low. And then Chase came back around. But that just shows you the speed of this Bill McAnally, Hildeman Racing number 35 truck. This team is doing a lot of great things, and they're really looking forward to 24 as well. Maybe adding another truck and being even more competitive.
Bill McAnally, just every time you see him, he's just so joyful, so appreciative of what this team has been able to do, bringing Christian Eckes on, Jake Garcia. You know, when you talk about Jake, and we've done it a lot this year, he's so consistent. Ran 8th here in his first time ever in May, so you imagine the things that he learned there that'll help him here tonight. It's showing.
And you see the Napa colors on that 19 of Christian Eckes. There's a reason that Napa and Bill McAnally have been together for over 30 years.
That's that move right up in front of Purdy. Garcia made it happen that time. Purdy didn't decide to go under him. He's going to maybe try to go around the top, but I think that 35 truck's really fast around the bottom. You can see him pulling away there.
See how much momentum that Purdy will have from the high side coming back. Not going to be enough to pull up beside of Jake Garcia. You see Jake wave out the window. Thank you for letting me, for giving me a break.
And watch right behind the Ford truck. It's that Napa truck that you spoke of, he's coming to the front as well.
Christian Eckes in the 5th place position. Jake Garcia moving forward now up to P3 and trying to close in on the race leaders. You can see the lap times on our screen right now. Nick Sanchez was the fastest truck that last lap by a couple tenths of a second over the 2nd place race truck of Ben Rhodes. 2 laps in a row, he's been 2 to 3 tenths of a second faster than him as he continues to grow out his race lead in this opening stage of the race. Sanchez and Rhodes were separated by just 3 points for that final playoff spot coming into the day today, so a very close battle to watch with the 2 drivers at the very front of the field. Not impossible, though, that Matt Crafton, who is not in the top 10 right now, could potentially fall out of contention to make it into the next round of the playoffs. Right now, Crafton is running in the, gotta find him on the leaderboard here, 21st place position. So if he doesn't get any stage points in this first stage, Nick Sanchez will actually be ahead of Crafton in points, as he was 9 points behind him to start this race. So Sanchez will be +1 on Crafton to start stage 2 if Sanchez wins it, and then Ben Rhodes, who would have been 6 points behind Crafton, would get 9 right now. He'd be +3. So the playoff battle will be even tighter than between 3 drivers rather than just the 2 that are running up towards the front early on. As for right now, they are on the first full screen commercial break of the race, and we will keep our live commentary coverage going. Through these first 11 laps here tonight, Nick Sanchez leads by 1.1 seconds over Ben Rhodes already in 2nd. Jake Garcia currently in 3rd, 1.4 seconds off the lead. Chase Purdy in 4th place is 2.1 seconds back. Christian Eckes rounds out the top 5. He's 2.6 seconds off the lead. Ty Majeski quickly fell to 7th, now back to 6th place as he's 3.1 seconds back. He passed Jake Drew, who is still in 7th, 3.5 seconds off the race lead. 4.6 seconds back is Corey Hyman 8th. Zane Smith in 9th, 4.9 seconds back, and Jack Wood rounds out the top 10, 5.8 seconds off the lead. Heim just entered the top 10 a few laps ago, so he's kind of charging through the field right now, running quicker lap times than that of those around him. In fact, that last lap, Heim was the 2nd fastest car on track, only behind the leader Sanchez, who has the cleanest air. And as for Grant Enfinger, who was up in the 8th place position in the early laps, has now dropped outside the top 10 to 11th. But good thing he's got that win in the bank already in the round, winning the most recent race of the round 2 weeks ago at Darlington to lock himself into the round of, or sorry, not at Darlington, but at Milwaukee to lock himself into the round of 8 of the playoffs. Of course, Ty Majeski winning the first race of the playoffs back at IRP in late July. So it has been a pretty interesting run as of late, or I should say middle August. Late July was when the regular season ended at Richmond. But 3 straight short track races. We finally get back to another intermediate track here today. Caution's out for the first time. Not sure exactly why. They are on a commercial break still. Again, full screen, so we'll have to wait to see an update. But caution at lap 13 tonight, or first of the race. So bunch the field back together again. And it'll be interesting if anybody tries to go off strategy. I'm sure all those bubble drivers definitely going to stay out of the pits to try to keep as much track position as possible. Maybe allows for Crafton, who's further back in the path to pit. And it is the 41 truck of Bailey Curry. A lot of sparks coming out from underneath it for this first caution of the night.
He's just struggling to get back to pit road. Bailey didn't get off to a great start. Usually really fast in this 41 truck. I've been really proud to see the performance of Bailey in this Nice Motorsports 41, but today it's not been a great day, and it has every look of maybe he just got loose.
See what happens here.
Yeah, it's on the inside of another truck. We see that so often. That truck on the inside loses air off that spoiler, that rear downforce, and just around he goes.
And I'm going to tell you, as a racer, Jamie, that happens so quickly. You know, you've got great grip, and you're making the pass, and then all of a sudden,
You don't.
it's gone,
Yeah.
and your truck is gone. But nice job of not getting into the outside wall.
And a nice job by the racetrack of having all pavement down there below the racetrack.
Yeah, not so many drivers were as lucky earlier today, whether it was practice here for Craftsman Truck, it was the Arkham Menard Series, a lot of right side damage.
I saw a red wedge wrench go into that right rear too. So obviously he said, I thought I was loose, and now I know I am.
Yeah. And he may not have felt that loose until he got underneath that other truck.
Well, we continue under caution here for the first time in Kansas. We go green, it's all Nick Sanchez, Ben Rhodes.
All right, so no pit stops going to be had here in the middle going of stage 1 with this early caution for Bailey Curry having a spin off of turn 2. Never made contact with anybody but was side by side. Lost the downforce on the side of the race car, the side force if you will, and ended up having that rear of the racetrack come out from underneath him. Slides to the inside of the racetrack but never hit the wall. He'll be able to continue, I believe, once he gets back around. He did have the tire down on the rim, which was causing this sparks. It looked like the left front had ended up giving way following the slide, so hopefully he will be good to go going forward. Esteban Tobar Sosa, Robert Goodrich, Joanne C., Michael Turner, thanks for tuning in. Earl Arnold Jr., thanks for tuning in as well. Up to about 70 concurrent viewers right now. 22 likes already on the stream. Our goal is 100 for tonight. A little late Friday night. Race starting roughly 8 p.m. just after that Central Time, which is where this Kansas Speedway is located. Points battle as we run right now between Sanchez and Ben Rhodes, just a 2-point differential. But technically, Nick Sanchez is leading the race, so with a win, he'd be locked in, which would actually bump Ben Rhodes out. But Rhodes is outscoring Matt Crafton as we run by more than 6 positions, with Ben Rhodes in 2nd and Crafton in 21st. So obviously the positions will change based off of how many stage points both the 99 and the 88 get, but it could be possible that both Thor Sport racing trucks would have to race each other for that elimination spot there in the round of 8, based off of, again, how everything is running as of right now. Matt DiBenedetto, who qualified a little bit towards the front of the field, is now back to 14th. He qualified 5th, but did not take off well in that inside lane off the start. Stacked everybody up, and that's why we saw a lot of 3 and 4 wide racing on that initial start for about the first lap to lap and a half. We'll see what this next restart will bring as we're closer to the end of stage 1 and how much more aggressive it may potentially be with playoff drivers trying to get all the stage points they possibly can. Blind 1771, thanks for tuning back in for another race weekend. Jimmy Johnson, NASCAR Class 2024, yep. Him and Chad Knaus getting in. Pretty easy. You got 2 7-time champs, one as a driver, one as a crew chief. Easy first bout Hall of Famers. No doubt about it.
He's racing live from Kansas as we remain under caution for the first time. The surprise here, we just saw one of our playoff contenders, the last winner, by the way, Grant Enfinger, come down and make an unscheduled pit stop. And guys, we heard a little on the radio, something about a vibration, so something's not right with that truck.
Yeah, I can see maybe short pitting the stage, but there's so many trucks. There's 32 trucks on the lead lap right now. Grant actually did this early this year. He restarted 17th with 5 laps to go on the stage and drove all the way to 2nd to get 2nd stage points. But this time, Heather, I guess he was talking about a vibration.
Yes, and on the radio he said that he was talking about a vibration in the car, but I just checked with the team and they said that this was their plan. They wanted to get off of sequence for this race, as you guys just talked about, but they did make a track bar adjustment just to get him a little more snug so he can really get after it when we go back green. Amanda? Heather, we talked about Matt DiBenedetto's win or bust mentality here today. Well, he's already fallen 3 spots to the 14th position, but he's running in a brand new chassis here this weekend. They did use a similar setup from the spring race in Kansas, but said it's a bit evolved.
Interesting. You got to evolve if you want to have a different outcome, right?
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting. I talked to you guys earlier about being up where Grant Enfinger's trucks are housed at GMS, and I saw a truck driving across the parking lot. I said, "Where's that truck going?" They said, "It's going to Bristol." I said, "Where's it been?" They said, "It won Milwaukee." I said, "I thought you would save that for Phoenix." And they said, "Well, we're going to take it to Phoenix if it gets through Bristol." But that's how important every race is. You got to bring your best stuff each week, and that's what DiBenedetto thought they did. But so far, it hasn't worked out.
Yeah, and that's why Enfinger's going to take that truck to Bristol. That's the 2nd round. We know he's already through to that round.
Yes.
But then you got to perform in that next round of 3 races.
Who did that so spectacularly? That's a good word for me to say, isn't it? Spectacularly.
They're spectacularly
Who
choosing
did that last
right now.
year? Tom Majeski. He won when it mattered, and that's what it's all about in the playoffs.
He won 2 of the next 3 races coming up last year. Just put on a show, punched his ticket to Phoenix, had a shot at the championship.
He's won 3 races in his career. All 3 of those races have been playoff races.
Talk about stepping up when it matters most.
It's going to be fun to watch Enfinger back there to see how this play works out for this team.
I guess if you want to mix it up, you do it now, early on.
I like it.
And this racetrack is wide enough. You can go 3 wide, or you can go to the top all the way to the bottom. So Enfinger is going to have the freshest tires in the field right now. So it's going to be really interesting to watch. The guys told me about a second half fall off in 30 laps. Now, we only ran about, 16, 17 green flag laps. So the fall off's probably not going to be quite that, but still going to be fun to watch.
He's starting 25th. Let's make a note of that and see where he goes.
So you see there, stage 1, 11 to go. First stage break is at lap 30. Second stage break, lap 60. We'll do 134 laps tonight to decide it.
Does he get back to the top 10 before the end of the stage?
I think he does. And I'm also going to watch this number 35 truck. Jake Garcia is restarting on the outside behind Ben Rhodes. We saw earlier the pole sitter take the outside and it didn't work. Nick Sanchez grabbed the lead on the bottom. Let's see what happens this time.
Sanchez going to try to retake the lead from the bottom lane once again. He'll be the control truck this time. Major stage points on the line for these final 10 laps of stage 1 between Rhodes and the 2. Big stack up for the 35 truck of Jake Garcia, who did not get going in the outside of row 2. Rhodes had no help to push him into turn 1. Sanchez does, and Sanchez gets to the lead. 3 wide to the inside for second goes Christian Eckes after the 4 truck slides wide almost into the 99 of Ben Rhodes. Still 3 wide off the exit of turn 2. Banging fenders off the exit of the corner is Purdy as he badges his way through to the inside of the 99 truck once again. Can't hold that bottom lane on the white line very well. Rhodes will be clear for second. Purdy hangs on for third still. And 1 truck almost bouncing into the outside wall. That was Garcia off turn 4 as he loses quite a few positions, and he's still trying to play defense heading into turn 1. 3 wide with Carson Hocevar to his outside. And another rookie, it looks like in the 61 of Jake Drew to the outside. Drew not going to be able to stay there with Garcia. Garcia is still getting a nice run, though, off the exit of the corner. Good drafting help from Drew from behind as they pull clear of Hocevar's truck from the bottom. And it looks like the 35 will be able to maintain in the top 10 in the 7th place position, though. But after restarting in 4th, technically outside of row 2, but he was in 3rd when the caution came out. Big loss of time for that 35 team. Came close to the wall. I'm not sure if he actually touched it or not, but definitely scrubbed some speed off. Looked like he may have lifted there at the last second. And that costed him some more positions. Jake Drew going to get by Garcia through turns 1 and 2, dropping the 35 now back to the 8th place spot. And Hocevar looking to attack as well on the 35. As for the top 5 following this restart, Nick Sanchez leads by half a second over Ben Rhodes in 2nd, Chase Purdy's 3rd, Christian Eckes 4th, and Corey Heim now up to a race-high 5th place position late in Stage 1. Grant Enfinger on those fresher tires has made his way up to 11, trying to pass Majeski for 10th already after restarting 25th on roughly 13 lap fresher tires because that first caution came out at lap 13. So that is the number of laps of green flag racing these teams have had on those tires of those that stayed out of the pits. Enfinger was really the only car that came to pit road majorly for a vibration issue that he was having prior to the caution. But taking a little bit of a strategy play as well to try to get some of those spots back as quickly as possible. He's now cracked the top 10 off turn 4 as he makes the pass around Majeski. Enfinger did win the first Kansas race for the Truck Series earlier this season, so trying to get the sweep here today and go for back-to-back wins in what will be the final season for GMS Racing in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. They will be closing down at the end of the year to put full focus on that Legacy Motor Club team that owner Maury Gallagher owns, of course, part with Jimmy Johnson and Richard Petty. For that organization, they will be making the switch to Toyota next year as well. So major adjustments going to be made for that 2-car organization on the Cup side, and full focus will be there going forward. So this 4-team Truck Series operation will completely go away at season's end, trying to go out on top of the championship as they are still obviously showing some majorly race-winning speed on a week-to-week basis. Nick Sanchez is out in front right now, and he is one of those race trucks as well for GMS, trying to make it into the next round along with his teammate who is already locked in with the win of Enfinger. Sanchez is out to a nearly 1-second lead following the restart on Chase Purdy, and he's down to just 4 laps to go to winning this first stage. Ben Rhodes got passed by Purdy a couple laps ago, so loses a point to where he was at versus Sanchez, as we run, he is still ahead of Crafton as Crafton has only made his way to 14th place. Crafton down on the inside, trying to get by Stuart Friesen for 13th, but still not in any sort of a position to get stage points here in the closing laps. So with 4 to go, coming up on 3 to go in the stage, the caution is out for the second time today. And this time it is the O2 truck that has gone around off the exit of turn 4, it appears. That's Caden Honeycutt. So Honeycutt, who is already a lap down, will go for a spin. And now may end up falling more laps down. A lot of damage. Right rear tire is definitely out on that race car. Very flat. You see the rubber marks on the right side of the car as well. Right rear corner panel specifically. Having problems trying to get the jack underneath the right side of the car. It looks like the right front's pretty low on air as well. Mid-slide locked it up, probably blew that tire out as well. Honeycutt, 20 years old, out of Vallejo, Texas. 2 top 10 finishes so far in his rookie campaign in the Truck Series. Had a spin off turn 4 here, right in front of the race leaders. But they were able to get through, no problem. And this will end the stage under caution. We are not going to get a restart in here because they will have to still open pit road up. So it'll be kind of a lengthy caution as we get to the stage end. Nick Sanchez is going to pick up the playoff point, which if he advanced to the round of 8, this playoff point will carry over with him. And this will be the 3rd stage win of the year for Sanchez. He won his first 2 stages at Texas earlier this season in a dominating race until he lost the lead on that final restart to Carson Hocevar, who had a last lap pass for his first career Truck Series win. But again, under caution here with a few laps to go in stage 1. 2 to go under the stage right now. They have not gotten the 1 to go signal, so obviously this will end the stage. And again, Nick Sanchez will get the stage 1 win. Chase Purdy finishes 2nd in the stages for the other playoff drivers behind Purdy in the running order. Ben Rhodes finishes 3rd, Corey Heim 4th, Christian Eck is 5th, Zane Smith up to 6th place, Jake Drew, another non-playoff driver, finishing 7th in the stage, Grant Enfinger 8th, Carson Hocevar 9th, and Ty Majeski rounds out the top 10. Jake Garcia fell all the way back to 11th after being 3rd midway through the stage when the first caution came out. So both cautions for incident here, and again, stage 2 will come to an end, and the next restart will be the beginning of stage 2. Pit road will be open probably the first lap following the stage end, I would have to imagine, so don't imagine pit road will be open the next couple of laps by. So I'm surprised they haven't really gone to commercial break yet, with that being said. But they probably will shortly. So once again, drivers locked into the next round of the playoffs off of wins, Grant Enfinger, Ty Majeski, and then again, 2 drivers locked themselves in off of points, which was Christian Eckes and Corey Heim in the last race. Carson Hocevar needed to score 5 stage points in the first 2 stages today in order to lock himself into the next round. He scores 2 in stage 1. So Hocevar not quite locked into the playoffs yet. If he could score a few more in stage 2, though, he will be locked in before the final stage even begins. Zane Smith, who is plus 29 points, gets 5 points, which is big considering that both Rhodes and Sanchez are ahead of him in the running order. Sanchez was 3 points behind Rhodes, outscores him by 2 in this first stage, so now he's 1 point behind Ben Rhodes to start stage 2, but both drivers are now ahead of Matt Crafton in the standings because Crafton was 9 points ahead of Sanchez, 6 points ahead of Rhodes. Rhodes gets 8 points to Crafton 0, and obviously 10 to 0 for Sanchez, so Sanchez is 1 point behind Rhodes, and he is 1 point ahead of Matt Crafton, and then Ben Rhodes would technically be 2 points ahead of Crafton and 1 point ahead of Sanchez. So Matt Crafton is the first driver below the cutoff line right now after coming into this race 9th in the standings and 9 points to the good. Now he is minus 1 point to start this second stage. Jeff Henson, thanks for tuning in. Delbert Wilson, thank you for tuning in as well. First yellow was for Bailey Curry spinning off turn 2. Gufran Irwanto, thanks for tuning in. We are just over 70 people still watching. As far as concurrent viewership goes, much later start time for the truck series tonight compared to normal. Although I think they have a similar start time for the truck race next week, which will actually be taking place in just 6 days time. Don't know how to do math there. The truck series race will be at Bristol next week. I will not be doing any live commentary for next week's races. I will actually be at Bristol for all the weekend's events. So you will not be able to catch me doing commentary next weekend for the Truck Xfinity Cup Series races, but there will be race highlight videos from the grandstands from every night's action. I'll also be there for the ARCA race as well, so you'll have ARCA truck highlights uploaded late Thursday night, probably like early morning hours on Friday, honestly, by the time I get back to my hotel and upload everything. The Xfinity Series race is going to be Friday night, so Friday night into early Saturday morning, that'll be uploaded, and then Cup race, of course, Saturday night. Video will probably upload either late Saturday or early Sunday. Again, it just depends on what time I get back to my hotel, and I have to compile all the video footage together in editing before I can upload it. So individual videos I try to get uploaded as soon as I get back to the hotel or on the way back, but as far as compiled, 15, 20-minute full race highlights like usual, it will end up being probably, I'd guess, early the following morning. So be on the lookout for that. Definitely be sure to hit the bell notification button so you don't miss those uploads next week. Pit road will be open this time as we're technically on the first lap of stage number 2.
For adjustments, Amanda, they're coming your way.
Well, you can see the floor pull off there. He's actually in the first pit box here. Easy ride for him on pit lane. Said this is his favorite track to race out. Some fuel and some tires for the floor, and then on to Ben Rhodes. I can watch him right now. They said they wanted to get that ARCA rubber off these tires, so new tires there. Going to take a track bar adjustment as they look to find more groove here in Kansas, Heather. And stage 1 winner Nick Sanchez said the balance stayed basically the same, just a tick free. So his crew chief Danny Stockman said, we're going to get a little bit of ahead of it in here, tighten you up with a track bar adjustment. And then on the bottom of your screen to the left, Corey Heim, same thing. His crew chief Scott Zipadelli said, we're getting cooler temperatures. Track's starting to free up, so we'll tighten them up this pit stop. All right, so
Sanchez is going to win the race off of pit road. Biggest mover on pit road, Matt Crafton. Big, up 5 positions, up 6 spots as well. Right behind him was Taylor Gray. Biggest loser on pit road, Chase Purdy there, as he lost 3 positions in the pits. 1 position lost for Christian Eckes as well. So that is the biggest movers on pit road. And once again, Nick Sanchez wins the race out of the pits. Sherry Hicks, Mike George, and Brian Brees, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to vote for who you think will win tonight's race in the voting poll that is open right now on the chat. 40 votes have been casted so far. We'll close the poll with 20 laps, or sorry, not 20. We'll close the poll with 50 laps to go in the race. Right now, other leading at 46% of the votes. So you think somebody other than Rhodes, Eckes, or Enfinger will win? As of right now, Nick Sanchez dominating the race so far from the pole. He has led every lap. Actually, from second place, he has led every lap. He didn't even qualify on the pole. It was Chase Purdy who started on the pole, but he never got a lap led in. Lost some more spots at pit road. He's fallen back to 7th now. So Sanchez won the race out of the pits. I do think Grant Enfinger stayed out of the pits. He has 1 less set of tires left after having to pit for that vibration issue he had back at stage 1. So Enfinger will restart as the leader, but he is going to be on about 10 lap older tires than everybody else who had just pitted during the stage break. So we'll see how well Enfinger can hold on. He was running 8th at the end of the last stage. He's probably going to have about a second of fall off roughly. Maybe give or take a few tenths. But I don't expect him to be quite as quick as those trucks at the very front of the field. Corey Heim gained a few positions on pit road as well. He's in the second place position coming out of the pits as he has rocketed through the field. Honestly, as far as drivers who have made the most passes in the race today, looks like Corey Heim and Matt Crafton have been those 2 drivers. So once again, update on the playoff standings as we begin stage 2. This is based off of strictly the stage points from stage 1 and where they were coming into the night. Right now on the bubble, it would be Nick Sanchez ahead of Matt Crafton by 1 point. And then Ben Rhodes would be ahead of Matt Crafton by 2 points. 1 point per position. If you win, you're obviously already automatically advanced to the next round. So if any one of those 3 win, they're locked in. But based off of stage 1 points, once again, Matt Crafton, -2 points. He came in +9. Already -2 just after stage 1. -1 point for Nick Sanchez, who won the first stage. Ben Rhodes is +1 right now. So that is your bubble drivers based off the first stage. Zane Smith, I think, would technically be +26 still. So Zane Smith is looking pretty good. He lost points to Rhodes, lost 3 points to him, technically, there in that first stage. But now Sanchez is ahead of the cutoff line, so actually it'd be +27 for Rhodes. So +27 points for Zane Smith, who would technically be 8th in the playoff standings. And Nick Sanchez is just a couple, or sorry, not Nick Sanchez, but Carson Hocevar just a couple stage points away here at stage 2 from locking himself in without having to worry about what could happen in the final stage of the race tonight. 8th place finisher better in stage 2 for Hocevar will lock him into the next round. Turn the camera on the TV. I can't. I'll get copyrighted for it. Stream will get taken down. Chris Davis, thank you for tuning in tonight as well. Second race of round 1. Are you talking about right now? Right now, this is the elimination race. Second race of the round was at Milwaukee a couple weeks ago. They ran on a Sunday afternoon after the Daytona events for the Xfinity and the Cup Series a couple weeks ago. So if you're wondering why this isn't the second race of the round, that would be why. They did run a Sunday afternoon race. Love the hat. Go blue. Yeah, go blue. Should have another easy one tomorrow. Non-conference schedule very easy this year for them. Hoping they play slightly better than what they did against East Carolina last week. They didn't struggle too bad. The run game struggled quite a bit, but outside of that, we were really good. But that was a strong suit for Michigan last year, was that running game. Offensive line just didn't look like they were able to run block very well. Good thing J.J. McCarthy was looking perfect. So otherwise, that could have been a very tight, low-scoring game. As for this race, again, Grant Enfinger will be the control truck on the restart. Now, he's taken the outside lane, which Nick Sanchez has gotten to the lead on the first two restarts, the initial start of the race, of course, and then the restart from the inside lane. And one of those restarts/starts, he was the control truck, and the other one he was not. He will not be the control truck here. And with Enfinger having 10 laps on his tires versus Sanchez, Sanchez may get a better launch here in the restart zone. He's just going to have to wait for the 23 to take that initial launch first. 40 likes on the stream now. Appreciate that, everybody. Continue to hit that like button again if you have not done so, and also subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We're already down to 99 laps to go when we get back to racing here in Stage 2. This race flying by. Into the restart zone now for Enfinger. Trying to get the push and the launches needed. Sanchez took way off ahead of Ben Rhodes, who didn't get going there initially. Christian Eckes trying to go 3 wide to the middle lane. And right now, Chase Purdy lodged in behind the 23 truck to that outside lane. Nick Sanchez on the bottom. Is he going to be able to pull clear? Yes, he is. Easily. Nick Sanchez having the lead once again through turns 1 and 2. Blocking down the back. Ben Rhodes to the inside of his former teammate Enfinger. Hocevar up the middle 3 wide, now down to side by side as they get through turns 3 and 4. Matt Crafton working the outside lane further back. Carson Hocevar takes a big slide up the racetrack off turn 4 as he clears Christian Eckes for the 4th place position. Side by side to the line as Corey Heim goes down to the apron using that extra shortcut. Losing a couple positions on the restart initially for him. Nick Sanchez sliding around quite a bit. Ben Rhodes looking to get by Sanchez for the race lead, and they're door-to-door down the backstretch. Sanchez on the inside lane trying to side draft the 99, pull to the bottom lane of the racetrack. 99 going to hold him tightly now to the inside lane. Rhodes wiggles a little bit. Still side by side off turn 4. Great battle for the race lead, and the final playoff spot between Ben Rhodes and Nick Sanchez as they battle out in front of the field. 98 laps still to go, but racing like it's the closing laps of this race between those two. That's how vital these stage points are, and already down to 23 to go in this second stage. As they continue to run side by side for about a lap and a half now, here comes Christian Eckes for third, trying to close the gap behind both of them. Rose hounding the two's right rear corner panel, nearly making contact in the center of the corner as it looked like Sanchez got loose. The 99 got a little tight simultaneously. Rhodes leads that lap at the line. Grant Enfinger still holding on to the 4th place position on the slightly older tires. Carson Hocevar going to look to get around him for 4th place in the middle of 1 and 2. Chase Purdy on the pit road for an unscheduled pit stop. Going to change the left side tires on that race truck, so might have had a tire going down or a vibration issue, whatever the case is. Purdy on pit road. Sanchez clears the 99, slides up the racetrack, not going to give him room. Rhodes has to lift to keep it off the wall. Hocevar to the inside of Rhodes for 2nd. Purdy going to go lap down on pit road with the 2-tire stop. Tough break there for the 4th team after qualifying on the pole earlier today. Hocevar clear for 2nd into turns 1 and 2. He's trying to charge after Nick Sanchez now, as Ben Rhodes is still hanging on for 3rd in front of Eckes, and then right behind him in 5th is now Zane Smith, the defending champion, up in contention for the race lead. Matt Crafton has fallen back to 9th place now as Matt DiBenedetto has gotten back around him. Crafton initially got to 7th in the restart, but now Heim and DiBenedetto have gotten back by him. Don't count Matty D out of the playoffs either. He was minus 20 coming into the day, a little bit more than that now for Stage 2 because he also, much like Crafton, did not get any stage points through Stage 1. Sanchez still in the lead, still in the outside lane, but still Carson Hocevar in the bottom lane is starting to run down the 2 at the front of the field. Sanchez did a great job in that bottom lane holding on to the lead when he did, when Rhodes was there battling him. Looked like Rhodes was going to be quicker all of a sudden, just pull out and make the pass for the race lead, but Rhodes was not able to do it. But did the 2 and the 98 burn their tires off the car a little too early in the run and allow for Hocevar, who already got by Rhodes, now trying to get by the truck with the clean air of Sanchez. Zane Smith going to get by Christian Eckes for 4th place on the front stretch and heads to the bottom through 1 and 2. Corey Heim trying to follow him but got a little tight on the bottom lane in the wake of the dirty air behind Smith. Pulls back in line on the outside and will have to maintain in the 6th place position. Carson Hocevar again going to the bottom, not choosing to go to the outside, taking the cleanest air and the shortest route possible, middle of the corner, slides up the racetrack. And now trying to stay in the draft of Sanchez as much as he can through the tri-oval to try to mitigate the amount of speed Sanchez is able to carry off the outside lane versus Hocevar on the bottom not being able to get quite as good of a run with less progressive banking. Corey Heim also moving past Christian Eckes, who has fallen back to 6th place now. First time Eckes has been outside the top 5 tonight, and Grant Enfinger starting to close back in. Those old tires starting to fire off here in the middle going to the run as the tires are slowly starting to equal each other out. Considering it's a very close margin of laps on Enfinger's tires versus the rest of the field, and as the drivers on the front of the field start to lose a little bit of time, it looks like Enfinger's lap times are going to kind of slowly meet them in the middle as we get deeper into the run. Matt Crafton, who gained 6 spots on pit road, is not able to hang on to any one of those 6 positions. He was 7th out of the pits. Now he's back to 10th, and Tanner Gray is going to pass him for that last spot for potential stage points for the 10th place position. So Matt Crafton falling back. Tanner Gray gets very tight up the racetrack, almost squeezes the 88 into the wall off of turn 4. Very close call there, and that could have knocked Crafton out of a chance to make it to the round of 8. Keeps it pedaling on, stays in front of Tanner Gray momentarily. And now Stuart Friesen's into that battle, making it a 3-truck battle for 10th with 15 to go in stage 2. Chase Purdy coming off a 6th place finish at Milwaukee a couple weeks ago. Looking to back that up with a good finish today. Big loose moment off turn 4 for Ben Rhodes in the 99 as he almost tagged the wall with the right rear corner panel. Zane Smith is going to get by him for 3rd place now after pulling a nice slide job. Not sure if the 99 was just kind of turning low to make the cut underneath him, but whatever the case was, got looser than what he probably hoped to be. Scrubbing a slight bit of speed off in the process. Carson Hocevar driving it in very deep to turns 3 and 4. Down on that white line, trying to allow himself to stay in the gas as much as possible as he looks to run down Sanchez, who's doing a great job in the early stages of this one, trying to point his way in if he can't get the win, but still continuously leading. Ben Rhodes going to lose another spot. That's another point late in the stage. Corey Heim now to 4th place. And Ben Rhodes falls back to 5th. He's still pointed ahead of his teammate Matt Crafton for that final spot, but he's going to be losing Sanchez in the points more and more the more positions he continues to lose. Matt DiBenedetto again is up to 8th. Can't forget about him, but he's more than likely going to be in a must-win situation unless 2 of those 3 drivers he's trying to catch in points DNF. That's really his only way to point himself in based off of where those other 3 drivers are running, which 2 of which are already beating him. Hocevar, big run off turn 2. He's going to the outside now, which is why he's able to carry more straightaway speed. The last lap, for some reason, Sanchez goes to the bottom. I'm not sure if he's getting too tight to run the top or not. Whatever the case is, he has moved off the wall down to the bottom. He was doing a great job on the outside. Changed his lane. It didn't work out, and now here comes Hocevar to the bottom of the racetrack for the race lead. He's going to slide up. He's going to be able to clear Sanchez. Now can Sanchez get the power down off the exit of the corner to cross him back over into 3 and 4? He's got to run, but I'm not sure if it's big enough. He's going to try it anyway. Sanchez again going for the lead in 3 and 4. Can't hold on. And Carson Hocevar going to lead at Kansas Speedway for the first time tonight off turn 4 with 11 laps to go in stage 2 as he tries to pick up his 4th truck win of the season. Your top 5 right now on lap 49. Carson Hocevar leads. Nick Sanchez in second. 0.2 of a second off the lead now. Zane Smith's in third, 1.1 seconds back. Corey Hyman fourth, 1.3 seconds off the lead. And Ben Rhodes is in fifth, 2.5 seconds off the lead. We'll take our first ad break of the race today. You're listening live to the Kansas Lottery 200 on KRC. This NASCAR YouTube channel. Be sure to like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Trying to get to 100 likes on the stream tonight and on the road to 5,000 subs. Trying to get there before the end of the season. So be sure to do both, hit both, and we'll carry on for the rest of Stage 2 shortly after this. Zachary K, thanks for tuning in as well. Jennifer Jo Cobb's 50. I didn't realize she was that old. She doesn't look like it. Jeff Curry, thanks for tuning in also. There's a chance Hocevar jumps straight to Cup. He will not be in that 42 car, which he's been running for this year. It was announced earlier in the week that John Hunter Nemechek will be moving up. So the 20 ride's available. Hocevar may get a shot at Joe Gibbs Racing. You never know. He's been running part-time in the Xfinity Series this season for Spire Motorsports, but they do not have a full-time team in the Xfinity Series. So Hocevar's looking for a ride. I think that number 20 could be a hot one, especially with that being one of the championship favorites this season. He could be one of the championship favorites next season in his rookie campaign just by jumping into that car, because we know the speed it's going to have on a weekly basis. Carson trying to make the most of his opportunities here, and as you see, has already jumped out to a 1.5 second lead in the middle going of Stage 2. Great run for Carson Hocevar. He was 9th at the end of Stage 1. This is definitely going to lock him into the next round of the playoffs. Came so close to a win at Milwaukee. He's trying to hold on to older tires late there. Did a great job doing so. Ended up with a second place finish behind Grant Enfinger on that Sunday afternoon event. Here on a Friday night, maybe he's got a shot to win. The nighttime is the right time. He's proven it. Ben Rhodes got up into the wall off turn 4, pushing it a little too hard a couple laps ago, it looked like. And he's going to lose those 4 trucks ahead of him quite a bit now, as he's almost 3 seconds behind Heim all of a sudden. And now Christian Eckes is very close behind the 99, along with Grant Enfinger and Matt DiBenedetto trying to close the gap. Rhodes still beating Matt Crafton, with Crafton in 12th. Matt not looking to get any stage points here. If Rhodes can outpoint him by even just a couple points going into that final stage, that could be beneficial. Ben Rhodes, as of right now, only 2 points ahead of Matt Crafton. I'm a little upset they haven't showed the point standings on FS1 so far throughout the course of this race. Usually on NBC, during the Xfinity Cup Series playoff races, they'll update you throughout the race. And then the elimination race, they pretty much have the points on the screen all the way throughout, as they should, because it's a very important race when it comes to points, because 4 drivers will be eliminated from contention. In this case, 2 drivers will, with the Truck Series field being a lot shorter than the Xfinity and the Cup side. Of course, a much shorter season than those 2 series. Only 23 races in full, 16 in the regular season, 7 playoff races. This is the 3rd of 7 playoff races. Hard to believe there's just 4 more weeks left for the Truck Series. We're 6 days away from their next race on Thursday night at Bristol, and then we'll be down to 3. Enfinger got by Christian Eckes that last corner to 3 and 4. Now jumps to the inside of the 99 of Rhodes. So great job on 10-lap older tires. He lost some positions off the start as expected. But as the tires started to even out over the course of the run, Enfinger has now moved back into the top 5 as he crosses the 99 over. Rhodes trying to crossover move of his own now to the inside lane into 3 and 4. He practically had Enfinger cleared before getting into turn 3. Clears the 23 truck for sure off turn 4. Not going to be able to pull the block as Enfinger gets the run off the wall. And now he's going to cut to the bottom. Eckes trying to use the draft of the 23 to close in on Rhodes as well. Enfinger sliding up, taking Rhodes' line away from him. Eckes down to the bottom of the racetrack as they may be 3 wide off the exit of the corner. Nope, not quite. And Rhodes is boxed in line. So now he's in 6th trying to play defense on Eckes. Came off the wall a little bit. Looked like he was going to go down to try to side draft Eckes, but that's not going to be the case. And because he came off the wall, he's not going to carry as much speed as what he would like. Eckes is going to clear him. Rhodes at the bottom of the track. A little aggressive in the side draft there. Needs to be. 2 to go, stage 1. Hocevar 2.3 seconds ahead of Sanchez. He's practically going to pick up another playoff point for winning the stage here. Big battle for Ben Rhodes. Needs all the points he can get. Craftsman still in 12th. Rhodes loses the 6th place position to Eckes, so Rhodes now falls to P7. He would get 4 stage points for his finishing order. Next truck behind him is Raja Karuth in 8th, but he's 2 seconds back. He will not catch him as we have just 1 lap to go now in stage 2. Great run in this middle going to the race for Carson Hocevar, rocketing himself up 8 positions in the running order from where he finished stage 1 to where he is going to finish in stage 2, and he couldn't go any further up because he is in the 1st place position. This is going to be the 3rd stage win of the season for Hocevar, just like with Nick Sanchez winning his 3rd stage of the season during stage 1. Hocevar wins stage 2 at Kansas. Sanchez, who won stage 1, finishes 2nd at stage 2. Corey Heim 3rd, Zane Smith 4th, Grant Enfinger rounds out the top 5. Christian Eckes in 6th, Ben Rhodes 7th, Raja Karuth 8th, Matt DiBenedetto, in 9th, and Taylor Gray rounds out the top 10. We'll take a quick ad break here, and then we'll get back to the action. You're listening live on KRC on this NASCAR YouTube channel. Be sure to like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We'll have the Stage 3 coverage coming up shortly. And we will keep that poll up in the chat until 50 laps to go in the race. So about 24 more laps we'll have that poll remaining up for you guys to be able to vote for who you think will win. This is the 3rd caution of the night, and the only caution of Stage 2 was the Stage 2 end. And this will be the 2nd last pit stop of the race coming up, as they will have to pit for fuel purposes at some point in the final stage. Ty Majeski's fallen all the way back to 17th in this one. Looking very much off the pace. Spencer Boyd going to get the free pass during the stage break here. Get back on the lead lap. Greg Van Ulst had the free pass at the end of stage 2. We've had 2 cautions for incidents so far tonight. Again, both in stage 1. Nick Sanchez up to this point has still led the most laps of 42 laps led. Hocevar has led the last 13. We'll see who's going to win the race off pit road to begin with the lead to begin stage 3. So Hocevar going to lock himself into the next round of the playoffs on points with the stage points he earned in each of the first 2 stages tonight. So that means there will still be 3 spots available for that round of 8 going into the final stage of this race. Matt DiBenedetto ended up 9th in the stage, is now practically in a must-win situation. Again, unless 2 of the drivers ahead of him in points get into some sort of an incident and put themselves in danger of missing it on points, that'd really be the only way that they would get knocked out for points purposes. Quick race so far tonight, less than an hour in, and we're already almost halfway home. 49 minutes after the drop of the green flag. Still a little bit over half a race remaining. Gonna have to find out what's gonna happen here. Never know if this could be the last restart of the race coming up, although it is the Truck Series, so I'd like to think that that will not be the case, but you never know. Definitely not the last pit stops of the race, but you'll get to listen in to the pit stop reports.
The Seahawks. It all kicks off Sunday on Fox. I cannot wait for these games on Sunday. My Colts are playing with our brand new quarterback, Anthony Richardson. But we've got to tip the hat to this man, Phil Parsons, and his Lions last night.
How my Lions look last night?
They looked good. I was
Thank you very
impressed.
much.
My favorite comment about the Lions winning last night, Eric Jones said on Twitter, or whatever it's called now, that's the
X.
best Lions game I've seen in 27 years. And I got to thinking, how old is Eric Jones?
So it's the best game he's ever seen.
He's 27, so he's never seen a better Lions game than that.
Don't ask me how long it's been since I saw a game that good.
You used to go when you were a teenager when
Yeah.
they were good at 57, right?
57, yeah, I wasn't quite ready yet to go, but yes. They won the championship, NFL championship, obviously several years before the Super Bowl started.
Man, how fun is it that NFL on Fox is back? I mean, I love NASCAR on Fox, and it's just a perfect partnership with the NFL just to enjoy sports, man. It's just a good time of year.
Well, we talked about the 99 getting into the wall, slipped back to the 7th spot. What are they saying on the radio?
We have to do a big combo adjustment here because I don't know if something was messed up or not, but the track made that big of a change. We're way loose, so we need track bar and wedge and air pressure.
It's going to kill the stop, but if we got to do it, we got to do it.
We got to fix the truck because I'm doing all I can and just about wrecking every single lap.
Wow, we saw it with that
Totally.
big slide off turn 4, but then if you think about what he's asking for, he wants them to tighten it up 3 different ways. He wants wedge, he wants track bar, and he wants an air pressure adjustment. We'll see how long it takes this team to execute that, and like they said, we're going to lose some track position, but the champion, the former champion, Ben Rhodes, the experienced driver that he is, he knows what he needs, and that's what this team is going to have to do.
Yeah, he knows he's too far away right now the way it is. He has to have those adjustments.
And Brian Ross said it's going to kill us on the stop, and Ben said it's worth it. We're going to lose some spots, but we got to take it to make this truck better and drivable. Pit road is open. They're headed your way. Amanda.
You're going to see the 42 make his way here, and Jamie, I think he heard you say that he was in the green to race in round 2 because he went straight to win this day, but as he pulls in, hey, he's just really enjoyed this truck. He told me earlier in qualifying that he wasn't worried about what they were going to do in the race tonight, that they had to set things for the long run. So Carson clinched into round 2, Heather. And Zane Smith telling his team he's just losing the nose in the center to exit. He's a little bit free and needs more landing grip. So they're going to make an adjustment to tighten him up. And then also Nick Sanchez, his team, they had a communication issue where Nick couldn't tell him what he needed. But right before the stop, he was able to communicate he's too free. So again, they went 3 rounds on the track bar for the number 2.
That's got to be frustrating. They can't even hear their driver to know what his feedback is. But good news is he has Danny Stockman on the pit box. He can see what that truck is doing and made those changes. So you see the stage points earned so far today. Nick Sanchez with 19 on top.
Yeah, it wouldn't change a whole lot if
You're right.
Danny Stockman, Nick Sanchez won one stage, second in this last stage.
Corey Himes had a good showing so far. Carson Hocevar just won that stage.
See Ben Rhodes there. He talked about the long pit stop. Only lost 1 spot on pit road. But our leader coming to pit road, Carson Hocevar, lost 3 spots. So he'll have to battle back.
So Nick Sanchez, Corey Heim will lead the way after the break.
So coming into the final stage of the race tonight, if I do my math correctly here, Nick Sanchez will be 10 points ahead of Matt Crafton, and Crafton will be 6 points behind Ben Rhodes. So Crafton would have to beat Nick Sanchez by more than 10 positions or beat Ben Rhodes by more than 6 positions if he is going to get in. So it's going to be a tough uphill climb for Matt Crafton. Waiting for our leaderboard to update here once I get back to the start-finish line this time by to see exactly where all those bubble drivers are running. A couple drivers taking the wave around, right around 30th place in the running order to get back on the lead lap. They will be on older tires here. By the time we get back to racing, we're going to be right around the halfway point in tonight's event. It's going to be very tough for Matt Crafton to beat Ben Rhodes by 6 spots or Nick Sanchez by 10 without them getting into an incident, just based off the speed of the first 2 stages alone for where Crafton was running. If Matt DiBenedetto can find a way to victory lane today, who was 8th at the end of stage 2, if DiBenedetto gets the win, then the battle would be between Nick Sanchez and Ben Rhodes. And I believe the gap is only 4 points between those 2 trucks coming into this one. Because it was a 3-point difference coming into the night. And Sanchez scored 19 to Rhodes' 12. So 7 points he outscored him by, going from -3 to +4 ahead of Rhodes. Again, that is if Crafton or DiBenedetto win, which I'd say DiBenedetto probably has a better shot than Crafton considering the speed in the 25 versus the speed in the 88. Rhodes will restart in 8th. Sanchez will restart 2nd. And then Matt Crafton restarting 13th, 14th place is where, or 12th place rather, is where Matt DiBenedetto will restart. Corey Heim won the race off of pit road, so he'll be the new leader. First time he has led today. And Carson Hocevar, who won stage 2, lost 3 spots in the pit lane, and he'll restart in 4th. So we'll see what Corey Heim has at the very front of the field right now. So we've got a race for the win to watch, and a battle, of course, for that last transfer position to make it into the round of 8 for the Truck Series playoffs to watch as well here over the course of the next 68 or so laps.
It's going to heat up. Here we go. They're all over each other.
Welcome back to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Kansas Lottery 200. So 66 laps in the book, 68 laps to go. The first 2 stages are finished. It's all about the final stage, the second half of this race.
Like I said, a lot of movement on pit road. Carson Hocevar will line up 4th after winning that stage.
Great pit work by Corey Heim's bunch, Scott Cipodelli's crew to get Corey the lead.
Be interesting to see what kind of changes worked and maybe who didn't need changes so much. But we talked about the 2 and Nick Sanchez. That truck's been so good, but they still adjusted because they're thinking big picture to the end of this race and what they're going to need.
Yeah, and it's also important, Phil, to keep up with this racetrack.
Absolutely.
It's getting cooler and cooler, so you have to take into consideration what your truck was doing and what it might do.
And what your notebook says about these nighttime races here at Kansas.
But I think the most important thing to watch, if I'm a fan at home, the draft. Watch how they push, watch how they shove, and the restarts, and how wild it's going to get. We think it's been crazy so far. It's not going to get any less crazy.
They really haven't done a lot of pushing and shoving, but that's getting ready to happen.
Matt Crafton, you saw that yellow truck go by. He's in 13th. He and Matt DiBenedetto.
And Ty Majeski back there as well. He lost all those spots on pit road the first stop. He's only fought his way back up 6 positions, so he's back there in 14th. Hasn't made a whole lot of noise tonight.
Both those Matts really need a strong finish to this race, but they're not going to be able to transfer to the next round.
Corey Heim, the control truck, and Nick Sanchez side by side. This is the first time we've seen Corey Heim restart on the front row. We'll see what this truck is made of.
Heim going to restart on the inside lane. The same lane Sanchez has been very good at so far tonight. Green flag back in the air. Good launch for Heim. And Sanchez on the outside of row 1 actually spun his tires. He's getting a good push by Carson Hocevar, but the 11 truck's going to be clear as he throws a block onto the outside lane into turn 1. 2 trucks coming to the inside of the 11. Hocevar up the middle. 3 wide for the race lead off turn 2. Zane Smith's down on the bottom, and they're 3x3 down the backstretch. Hocevar going to get split. The 19 pushes the 38. The 2 pushes the 11. Hocevar loses 3 to 4 positions going into turn 2. And Corey Heim comes out on the other end off turn 4 with the race lead. Zane Smith up to 2nd. And it looked like Christian Eckes slides in front of the 2 in the 42 to get to 3rd. He's got a big run now in Zane Smith as he goes for the 2nd place position. Sanchez trying to stay up there as best as he can. Falling all the way to 5th. Enfinger looking to get around him now off turn 2. Crafton bounces off the wall off turn 2. Hangs onto the race truck, but he'll lose a handful of spots. And the chances of getting into the next round of the playoffs for the 88 are looking even slimmer as he loses about 7 or 8 positions down the backstretch, falling all the way to 18th, now 19th place. If the one truck can get by, 3 wide right around Crafton, headed into turn 1 once again as he got a little wide. Truck slipped out from underneath him. No contact was made. He just lost it. Got up into the wall quite significantly, and now Matt Crafton is falling backwards. Matt DiBenedetto quickly back into the top 10 to 9th place, but he is pretty much going to have to win this thing if he's going to make it into the next round. And Crafton's got a tire down because he is very slow in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Caution flag has not come out, but Matt Crafton is off the pace, and the 3-time NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series champion is headed to pit road with a problem. Ben Rhodes has an issue, it looks like, as well, as he's also going to be off the pace. Problems for Ben Rhodes and Matt Crafton simultaneously, although not sure exactly what Rhodes' issue is. A lot of damage behind. He's shaking the truck back and forth. I'm not sure if he's getting any fuel pickup. Oh my goodness, major playoff implications going on for both Crafton and Rhodes. Crafton's not out of it yet. He gets that car back to pit road, and Ben Rhodes retires from the race. All Crafton has to do is beat the 99 by 6 positions. Oh my goodness. Rhodes is off the pace. He is very slow. I mean, he's getting blown around by race trucks right now. Continues to stay out of the pits and is just trying to drive out of it, knowing that Crafton's going to have to come to pit road. So that is the main reason I think the 99 is just trying to stay in it. Right side tire is going to be changed here. It doesn't look like there's a lot of urgency there to try to pull the fenders out. They need to go to work fast. They're still in this thing. They've got to go. Rhodes is off the pace. He's got some sort of a mechanical problem going on right now. And Matt Crafton's on pit road as they continue to try to bash the fenders out on that race truck. This is a very likely 2-tire stop. Meanwhile, battle for the lead going on between Corey Heim and Carson Hocevar. Hocevar took a shot to the inside but couldn't quite make the pass. Falls in line about 3 truck lengths or so behind Heim down the backstretch into turn 3. Zane Smith closing on the charge now for 3rd. Top 3 within about 0.3 of a second of each other at the end of lap 75 as we come around for 59 laps to go at the Kansas Speedway. 9-point difference between Rhodes and DiBenedetto. Don't count Matty D out of it yet either. He's in the 8th place position if Rhodes retires from the race. And Crafton's problem, remember I mentioned back at stage 2 that DiBenedetto's only chance of putting his way in was if 2 drivers had major problems in front of him. That has just happened at the beginning of stage 3. And both of the ThorSport trucks, of all things, that could have potentially have had the issue there. There is a chance that both of them get eliminated, which would leave Ty Majeski as the only one of 4 ThorSport trucks to make it into the round of 8 if Ben Rhodes and Matt Crafton get eliminated tonight. Hocevar to the lead in turn 1, took his second shot at Corey Heim. Heim slid down to the bottom right in line behind him, but he had nothing for Hocevar, who was strong on the long run in stage 2 and looks to be strong once again in the long run as we get later into stage 3. Everybody's still going to, again, have to pit one more time. Fuel window 50 to 55 laps, so they're going to be about 20 laps, give or take, shy on fuel to the end of the race. Ben Rhodes has dropped all the way back to the 26th place position right now, 13 plus seconds off the race lead, as he is 9 points to the good ahead of DiBenedetto and 11 points ahead of Crafton. Crafton, who came to pit road for that 2-tire stop after bashing his car into the, or truck rather, into the outside wall, appears to be 2 laps down right now and running in the 34th place spot. So it's going to be tough for Crafton to pick up any more positions here to the end of the race without drivers dropping out. Being a couple laps off the lead, he's not going to be in position to get the free pass from what we're looking at. And if he does get in position to get the free pass, he would only get 1 of 2 laps back. So tough break here for Matt Crafton. Not out of it because he's still in the race and there's problems for Ben Rhodes, but it's going to be very tough for him to maintain where he is at in the point standings. Needs to somehow gain 11 positions on Rhodes Rhodes riding around off pace right now, just really hoping Matt DiBenedetto doesn't take a tear and try to close into the top 5. But it does look like Matty D is keeping up with some of the trucks ahead of him. In fact, DiBenedetto had the 4th fastest lap time that last time by, only behind the top 3. Getting to 4th would gain him 4 points. And we'll have to wait and see if Ben Rhodes in the 99 is going to lose any more. Because, again, he's in 26, so there is spots to be lost still as well. DiBenedetto driving the wheels off his race truck right now. And so is Corey Heim, as he's still keeping up with Hosevard after Hosevard passed him for the lead moments ago. Heading into a commercial break, it looks like Hosevard going to look to hang on, but Corey Heim challenged again back to the inside in 1 and 2. 54 laps to go. We'll go through a full field running order rundown. Corey Heim leads this race after just taking it back from Hosevard during the commercial break, so Hosevard back to 2nd. Zane Smith's in 3rd. Christian Eckes in 4th, and Nick Sanchez rounds out the top 5. Taylor Gray in 6th. Grant Enfinger in 7th. 8th place is Matt DiBenedetto. Stuart Freeze in 9th, and Jake Garcia is 10th. Tanner Gray in 11th. Jake Drew in 12th. Ty Majeski 13th. Tyler Ankrum 14th. Jack Wood 15th. Jesse Love in 16th. Haley Deegan 17th. 18th is Daniel Dye. 19th is Raja Karuth. And Dean Thompson is 20th. Colby Howard in 21st. Brent Holmes 22nd. Timmy Hill 23rd. Mason Maggio 24th. And Chase Purdy is 25th. 26th is Ben Rhodes. 27th is Jace Janes. Spencer Boyd, last truck on the lead lap in 28th. Greg Van Ulst, first truck, 1 lap down in 29th. Wallace Allen, 30th. Caden Honeycutt, 31st. Bailey Curry, 32nd. And looks like Justin Carroll, 33rd. Matt Crafton, 2 laps down in 34th. Jennifer Jo Cobb, 35th. And 36th is Spencer Davis. He is the only truck out of the race tonight. A mechanical issue on the 04 team. Just over an hour after the drop of the green flag. Just 52 laps to go. You're listening live. KRC, tight points battle with 2 issues to the Thor Sport trucks in Stage 3. And also a tight 2-driver battle for the win going on right now between Heim and Hocevar as well. Lisa Marie Gonzalez, thanks for tuning in. Regine Huddleston, thank you for watching as well. Patrick Chadley, thank you for tuning into the stream. Evan Stevens, welcome as well. Zachary K. And others who I have not shouted out throughout the course of the stream for watching. Appreciate all of your guys' efforts to tune in here on this late Friday night. Up to 52 likes on the stream. Our goal is 100. We have over that many people watching as far as concurrent viewers go. Late battle for the stage. And I'll let you listen into the Fox broadcast during green flag action for the first time today when they come back from the break. Hocevar out in front by 1/10 of a second on Heim. A great back and forth battle for the lead. They continue to change the lead back and forth during the commercial break. Kind of stinks that can't watch that side by side. But they are back now with 50 laps to go.
Carson Hocevar, the 20-year-old, battling Corey Heim, the 21-year-old.
They were going at it during their commercial break, weren't they?
They were, and then Heather DeBoe told us during break that there was some debris on the front of the 11, so he got up behind Carson Hocevar, got it off, and then there was contact.
Watch this. Just trying to race alongside Hocevar. Hocevar slides up the track, and watch what happens to Heim. Into the outside wall. I've talked about it, Phil, that right rear sensitive. Can he overcome? Heather, what are they saying after that contact to the wall?
Well, I could almost hear Corey Heim take a deep breath and kind of in frustration and a little scared there that he might have wrecked the truck too much, but the team told him, hey, the right side looks okay, rear looks okay, just take a deep breath again, relax, and keep moving forward.
It's always interesting to watch a young driver like this in his first playoffs and everything that comes with it. It's not just another race. No matter what they tell them, oh, it's just another race. Go out there and do what you always do. It's not the same. And you have an incident like that, and like Heather said, you could hear it in his voice that he was nervous. And meanwhile, the 88, another playoff driver, Matt Crafton on pit road.
Yeah, more trouble for the 88 of Matt Crafton. They were checking the tires here. They changed the left sides already, but I just heard him on the radio say, hey, is the other side flat? So you can see the team working around to the right side of the truck to put a tire on that right front as well, and as they're going to bring out the hammer to maybe fix some of that earlier damage from getting into the walls.
There you see on the right, Ben Rhodes with that ill-driving number 99 Kubota truck.
I think I'd pit now. Once I got lapped, he's in his window. 46 laps to go. Come in and pit. Try to make some adjustments to try to overcome the body damage he has. Try to make the best of this situation.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, this is all he wants right now. He is driving the heck out of that truck.
He'll probably stay out until he's no longer the free pass vehicle. Then I think he'll probably hit the pit road.
So Ben Rhodes back in 27th spot. You mentioned it, Phil. He's in a free pass position right now. Meanwhile, just looking at the top 10, you see Ty Majeski, there he is in the 98, has entered the top 10. It's taken him quite a while to make up those 10 spots he lost on pit road.
Yeah, he lost 10 spots on pit road at the end of the first stage and never got into the top 10 during the second stage. But here he goes by Jake Garcia for the 9th spot.
Hey, Jake Garcia, he was battling up there in the top 3, 4 early on. He got some of the wall. Now he's found his way finally back up inside the top 10.
Chase James in the 33 truck, Bill. He is now the first truck a lap down. So, as you said, maybe Ben Rhodes comes to pit road right now. Once he loses that free pass position, I bet he hits pit road.
We know everybody will have to come to pit road. They can go a little bit farther than this, but I think for Ben Rhodes now, come to pit road, work on that truck, and try to see if he can get some of that pace back.
There he is, just like we thought. Look at this battle for the lead on the right. How cool is it? Carson Hocevar, Corey Heim, just going toe-to-toe.
And Ben Rhodes making his way to you, Amanda.
Man, and hopefully these can alleviate his pain. His crew chief, Brian Ross, is on his feet overlooking this change. Fuel is going into the truck, the left-hand side of the truck. They are making work adjustments on it. I see those new tires. They asked for a track bar adjustment as well in all the requests. Ben Rhodes, I hope your night gets better, buddy.
Well, they fulfilled all those requests. They made sure they got it done. So we'll see what the night has in store.
I didn't see a lot of adjustment, did you, Michael?
Well, they did, probably to the tires with the air pressure,
Yes,
and also to the wedge on the left rear. But you know, Phil, what they can't fix, or what they didn't work on, is that right rear quarter panel. And at these speeds, you can see how it's going over to the left. And at these speeds, you can't fix that. It's just impossible. You got to have that downforce. That's how sensitive these bodies are. And that's why when you hit the wall, like we saw with Ben Rhodes, you just can't overcome it.
Yeah, I saw that. It looked like a very small track bar adjustment. I think I'd have done 3 or 4 rounds to lower that track bar to try to tighten that truck up a little bit. We'll watch the lap times and see if how much pace he may have gotten back.
Yeah, because all these trucks are going to come to pit road here in the next, what would you say, 10 laps, Phil?
Yeah, I think about 10 laps, I would guess.
So just about 40 laps to go, and this is reminiscent of a year ago when we saw Carson Hocevar leading. Just great truck until the last lap. John Hunter Nemechek makes the pass on him. Thought he was good, thought he didn't have to win the race to make his way into the next round, and that wasn't the case.
Some of the trucks may be a little bit off the pace of these 2 drivers right here. May elect to try to stop a little bit earlier and try to use those new tires to get some of that pace back.
2/10 separate these 2 for first and second, but Zane Smith is about 3.5 seconds back from them.
Oh, what's wrong? Here we go. 11 to pit road. We thought it'd be later, but he decided he was going to come right now. We saw that little scrape on the wall. Doesn't look like the right rear of that truck is hurt that badly, so that's why he's able to maintain pace.
I like this call right here by Scott Zipadelli.
Beating Carson Hocevar to pit road, right? Just
Exactly.
trying to get that lap time for a lap or 2, Heather, and that's all this team will need to get the lead.
Absolutely, and he told everyone, be on your toes. We could come at any minute. They're going to have to back up the truck here because he went a little too far, but they're going to do 4 tires and take tape off the front of the 11 of Corey Heim. Amanda. Oh, and looky there, the 42 right in after. These guys are going to battle it out as we continue through this stage. When they were going along earlier, his team radioed over to Carson and said, hey, if you cannot get away from the 11, just play that dirty air game. Changes happening. The tires going on for Carson. This is going to be a fun battle.
But Corey Heim slid through his pit, and so that's gonna show up as soon as these trucks get back on the track. I think you're gonna give the advantage after a normal pit stop to Carson Hocevar.
98's got a fire. Amanda.
Looks like he's just trying to refire that truck. There was a push from one of the crew guys to get it going.
Yeah, that was just raw fuel in the exhaust.
Heather.
And Zane Smith on the previous stop said he needed more grip. They're going to keep going in that direction for the 38 as we see him slide into his pit box there. Team going to work for 4 tires and moving up pit road for Nick Sanchez. He said he just needs a little bit more security center exit. It's the team making adjustments right now for Sanchez.
More adjustments for Nick Sanchez. Good to see that Ty Majeski all was well. They had their issues earlier on, but looks like he got his adjustments, his tires, fuel, good to go. Grant Enfinger, a little spillage there. No harm, no foul.
That's not exactly.
We just saw Grant Enfinger on pit road there, and he was complaining that he was just a little bit too free, so a track bar adjustment for the 23.
Thank you, Heather, for that update. Amanda, Matt DiBenedetto on pit road.
Well, that last stage break that they had was a blessing for the 25. There was a lug nut that was loose on the left rear, and something got stuck between the wheel and the caliper that they were able to take. But Jamie, you talked earlier about Matty D not knowing what's going to happen for him next season, so he's also racing with that tonight, hoping people are seeing what he's doing in this performance, and he is an open book. He is open for all of it and what chances might be happening next season.
Yeah, Amanda, that team's doing a nice job. They got that win last year. The second full year, they hired an engineer this year to better themselves.
Guys, I've been watching the lap times. Ben Rhodes has been no faster back on the racetrack with those 4 fresh tires than what he was running before the caution came out. So right now it's just ride it out for Ben Rhodes. Hopefully he can run this speed, not completely out of control like he was before that pit stop.
Back to pit road. Grant Enfinger getting a report from NASCAR that he was speeding, so he'll have to do a pass-through penalty.
Take Grant out of contention.
Just serve that. That's when you're happy you have that win in your back pocket. You're not in this whole points scenario, so you make a mistake, it's no good, but it doesn't affect your outcome.
Couple of differing strategies going on. Tanner Gray is leading this race right now with Jack Wood in second. They haven't pitted yet. See how this plays out.
Tanner Gray, Jack Wood up front, Jesse Love in third right now, still to pit. Stay with us, you won't miss a thing as we go NASCAR side by side.
Top 10 right now, but still waiting on quite a few drivers to hit pit road. Tanner Gray is in the race lead. Jack Wood second, Jesse Love third, Dean Thompson fourth, Brett Holmes fifth, Colby Howard sixth. Corey Heim, who's the first driver of those that have pitted, is in seventh. Carson Hocevar in eighth. Timmy Hill 9th, Zane Smith is 10th. So even with that slow stop for Heim by pulling up too far into his box, then having to back up, still came out ahead of Hocevar, who also had a slow pit stop there. So those teams not at their best behavior, but still Heim getting out ahead. Obviously pitted 1 lap before Hocevar, which probably helped him a little bit in the sense of even having the slow mistake on pit road. We'll take a quick ad break here. We'll get back into the action. You're listening live on KRC. Late going of Stage 3. We will close the poll as well. 66 votes have been casted. And at the end of it, 50% say somebody other than Ben Rhodes, Christian Eckes, or Grant Enfinger will win. I would probably say that would be true, based off of watching who has been competing for this win in the late going of this race at the front of the field. Corey Heim, Carson Hocevar looking like the 2 favorites. Even Zane Smith there in third, looking to be better than Eckes, who is the highest on that list, would be 4th following green flag pit stops once everybody cycles through. Jack Wood out there on the racetrack competing for the playoffs for the Owners' Championship. Maybe in a must-win situation to try to get his way into the next round, so that's why they're staying out of the pits as long as they can. And it looks like he's coming to pit road to surrender that race lead now, as he did not get the caution to try to trap a lot of these trucks a lap down. So tough break. He had to try it, though, in the situation he was in. Still no cautions have been had since the end of Stage 1 as of this point in the race. As they are back from the commercial break, so you get to listen into more of the FS1 coverage.
Fresh tires, Corey Heim about to take over the lead, as you see changes being made to the 51.
Problem on the right rear, is that what it looks like? Maybe the air gun broke?
Looked like the air gun broke because they brought the front changer over there to tighten lug nuts on the rear, but
Man, that's a shame. They took a chance, stayed out, ran long, stayed on the racetrack, as Brett Holmes is doing right now. He's still on the racetrack and is a leader in this 32 truck. He needs gas pretty soon. He's just hoping for a caution right now to flip his race around.
Brett Holmes, an ARCA Menard Series champion.
yeah, Brett can probably go another 10 laps or so. You can run, close to 55 laps. Right now, he pitted on a lap of 64, so he's only run 42 laps.
I would go all of them, Phil, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, it looks like he's coming to pit road now.
I would take a chance, throw it out there, see what happens.
So as Brett Holmes comes down pit road, that gives the lead back to Corey Heim, who had a nice stop. He had to back it up. We thought he'd lose more than he did.
Well, that tells you how fast that pit stop was, and then hitting a lap sooner. Probably about a second and a half fall off. He took advantage of that by having those fresh tires over the competition. Carson Hocevar had a great pit stop, but this strategy and the crew on the 11 overcame the mistake that the driver made. That's good teamwork.
So Carson Hocevar just under 2 seconds behind the 11. Here's a battle for fourth. Christian Eckes, Nick Sanchez.
Sanchez running that higher line. Look at all the momentum he gets, plus the draft going down the front straightaway.
A couple of trucks off pit road there. Haley Deegan, you saw the 13 truck making her way back to the track.
There's Chase Purdy. Remember the tough break Chase had, a loose wheel, cost him a lap.
He's hanging in there though, Phil. 15th place, still on the lead lap. He's going to have to drive his Bama buggies off to be able to stay on the lead lap, though. They're ahead of Heim. We know how fast he is, but look at the pace of the Ford truck. Stretched it out a little bit, didn't he?
Such a good truck all day long, qualified on the pole for the first time, and you saw just moments ago the 11 got around the 99, put him 2 laps down now, so Ben Rhodes still limping out there, certainly not 100%.
Good shot of Jesse Love, our ARCA championship point leader. Jesse's done a nice job here, stayed up in the top 15. He is right now the last truck on the lead lap. Would love to see a caution to stay in front of his teammate Corey Heim.
Just his second career start in the Truck Series. But what he's doing in the ARCA Menard Series is just incredible.
Just phenomenal. What an awesome lead. He has 9 wins already this year for the ARCA Menard Series. Had a tough break today.
That's 9 wins is crazy to say.
That's a lot of wins.
And 17 starts, Michael. Had just his second DNF of the season earlier today. Had to watch the race from the pit box. Focus on the truck race for tonight. I have a feeling we'll see this young man full-time in the Truck Series. I'm sure next year.
Or somewhere. He's going to be somewhere, for sure. He certainly deserves it. He moved by the 33 truck of Chase James to move him. Now he's ahead of the pre-pass spot. Or ahead of the, still on the lead lap, I'm sorry.
Yeah, James is running that strategy I talked about. Just stay out there and take a chance. It didn't work, but Chase James stayed on the lead lap all the way till just now. He's going to have to pit pretty quickly, but they took that chance to try to stay in the game.
And Chase Purdy was able to get by James, so now Chase again is in the pre-pass spot. Right now pulling really hard for Jesse Love to stay on the lead lap.
Love's got a bit of a gap there.
Running some fast lap times. That last lap time he was within a couple tenths of a second of Corey Himes.
21 laps to go here at Kansas Speedway. As you see the cutoff line as they run. That's why Ben Rhodes continues doing all he can. He's in right now by 8 points. Think he can do it?
I think he can. I think especially if they made the truck drive a little bit better, he can certainly maintain this pace. And he has 8 points to play with. That means 8 positions to play with. He's running 26th now. He would have to go all the way back to 34th. But Matt obviously can gain some spots too and gain points. But Matt's about 7 seconds behind Taylor Gray, who's 1 spot in front of him right now. Matt DiBenedetto needs a caution.
As Corey Heim just crossed the start-finish line. That is the Craftsman, 20 laps to go. What a night this could be for Corey Heim. Talked to Scott Zipadelli, his crew chief, this week, and he just said, it's all about the win. We have been so focused. This is his place. This is his favorite racetrack. We just need to go out and win.
How about the parity that we've had here this year in the Truck Series? Grant Enfinger has 3 wins. Carson Hocevar has 3 wins. Corey Heim has 2 wins. Zane Smith has 2 wins.
What's going on with
And
our
coming
bubble
into
guys,
this
Heather?
race, coming into this race, Zane Smith and his crew chief Chris Lawson really just felt like they needed a reset. Their short track program wasn't where it needed to be, so coming to this mile and a half gave them an opportunity to see where they would stack up against the rest of the playoff competitors. So this is the same truck that they ran in Nashville, where they had a really good finish, a top 5, and they said they should have the same good speed as we see him running here in third. But moving on to Nick Sanchez, I spoke earlier about how confident he was coming into this race, and he said they really have had a switch since Milwaukee. That was a game changer for them. He felt like him and his team are really reading each other well and making great adjustments, the best changes they've made so far this season, and he's shown it on track today, running inside the top 5 the entire race. Amanda? Well, Heather, the 25 racing in that new chassis here at Kansas. He's been really happy with the truck tonight, but it is that mentality that we talked about at the beginning of the show. It is win or bust for this team, and that is definitely what it's going to be, because Ben Rhodes, his team, is telling him, hey, we're in the clear. We are good. Ben wanted to know 20 laps to go if he needed to do all or nothing, and I would imagine this is going to be all. Caution is out.
Caution is out for the 4th time, as you see the 22. That's Mason Maggio. Gotta believe that was a hard lick into the wall once again tonight.
Has the looks of a right front tire as well.
Mason was doing a nice job inside the top 20 in that 22 truck.
And I say once again because we've seen this story all day long.
It's usually a result of wall contact or debris on the racetrack. There's no problem with these Goodyear tires. There's just issues with scraping that outside wall. We've seen guys just putting it on the edge or hitting some debris. That's a big hit there.
Significant damage for Maggio.
He's already into the wall there. Whoa. Was that Caden Honeycutt?
It looked like Caden Honeycutt in the...
What do you call that, Phil? Crab walking? Or
sideways, for sure.
Tough break from Mason Maggio.
Oh, and we got a set of tires. Do
What
we?
do you do?
Nobody has any tires, do they?
No, we, I think we would have put our
Stopped
last
it
set on
the green flag
the
stop.
green flag
Yeah,
pit stop, yeah.
You're right.
Just his 5th start this season.
I think we'll see any pit stops. Some people could put a cooler set of tires on if they want to take a chance.
Yeah, these tires for most of the teams have, about 20, 22 laps on them, so... And I think you would have to put maybe the tires on you ran during the 2nd stage, which after the caution for the stage end probably only have about the same amount of tires. But as you mentioned, they would be cooler, but do you want to give up the track position?
No, but there's only 12 trucks right now on the lead lap.
Yeah, that's not many. I mean, if you're Stuart Friesen in 8th, Tanner Gray, Rajah Caruth,
What about Matt Benedetto?
Why not take a chance?
Yeah, see what you got.
You see there the 2023 playoff cut line officially as they run right now. Grant Enfinger with the win, Majeski with the win. Advances. Corey Heim, Christian Eckes, Carson Hocevar. We announced he advanced midway through the race. Zane Smith, Nick Sanchez, and Ben Rhodes. All to the good as of now. Plenty of racing still to come, though. Stay with us from Kansas.
14 laps to go in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Kansas Lottery 200 at the Kansas Speedway. We are under caution once again in this one, and it is the first caution for incident since late in Stage 1, just our 4th caution overall in this race. 12 trucks on the lead lap at the time of the caution. The 13th place truck of Tyler Ankrum going to be getting the free pass position with the lucky dog, I guess you would, with this caution coming out. So we'll have 13 trucks on the lead lap to begin this next restart. Matt DiBenedetto is 8 points behind Ben Rhodes as we run for that final playoff spot. Right now, Matt Craftsman, who got into the wall earlier in the stage, is multiple laps down. Ben Rhodes, in fact, is also multiple laps down off the pace in 25th. He gained a position with the 22 having that issue, so I believe it is actually a 9-point difference now between Rhodes and DiBenedetto. So DiBenedetto obviously can't pass 9 more cars. He's in 7th, so that would mean he would definitely end up winning. If you win, you're automatically in the next round. It is possible Ben Rhodes loses more spots, though. He can only get up to as high as 22nd because that would be the first driver of those that are 2 laps down with Rhodes. As far as drivers who are 2 laps down behind him, only Wallace Allen in 26 could pass the 99 of Rhodes, so he would fall to 8 points above. And again, with DiBenedetto in 7th, that is going to put Matt DiBenedetto in a must-win situation here. So it's looking like Ben Rhodes will get the last spot on points as long as Matt DiBenedetto does not win this race. And again, Matty D in the 7th place position at the time of the caution. He was 15 seconds off the race lead. And Corey Heim was actually stretching that lead out over Carson Hocevar after the green flag pit stops. So he had as much of about a 3.5 second lead. So Heim doing a great job for himself right now after losing the lead to Hocevar before the green flag stops, but now is going to have to try to play a little bit of defense once again here in the late going. Can't count DiBenedetto out of it. We know how crazy these restarts can get, especially at Kansas and especially in the Truck Series. We'll see what could happen here as we come closer to the end.
Elimination night, 2 drivers will be cut.
It's also a chance to win a NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race and advance in the playoffs. And you see Corey Heim right there on point, was able to drive away from Carson Hocevar after that exchange of pit stops.
1 driver in right now, 1 driver out right now. Things can still change. Plenty of racing to go.
Yeah, we're monitoring the point situation closely, and there just isn't any way to move another driver, lock Zane Smith in. We can't do that yet because if he crashes right now, he could be out of the points.
You see it there, Ben Rhodes, a 99 with that ill-handling truck right now. 9 points to the good over Matt DiBenedetto, -9. Let's hear from the crew chiefs. Amanda.
Standing by with Chad Kendrick, who just told me that he told Matt DiBenedetto ahead of this race that I don't need this truck back. So we'll see how spicy it's going to get as we head to the end of this race. But you told Matt that it's basically a win at this point. What else do you guys have up your sleeves?
That's about it. You know, Ben is doing everything he can to limp his home, and he's doing what he's got to do. So short, we need him to fall back 4 or 5, and we pick up 4 or 5, but ultimately we need a win. I told TJ to tell Matt, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's do or die, and we need a win. So he's good enough to do it. I think the truck is okay enough to do it. It may not be as fast, but you get up front and things change, so business picks up. So we need a restart of his life right here.
You can definitely feel the intensity over at the 25. Chad Kendrick was clenching his fist as I came over here.
Yeah, talk about restarts now. What a wild restart we're going to have here. Pit road is open to some of those trucks, maybe just outside the top 5. Do they gamble on maybe put some cold tires on? We know they don't have any new tires left.
Chad Kendrick, he sold it right there. Business is about to pick up. It's do or die, go for it. I can't wait to see what Matt DiBenedetto can do here. It's all or nothing. It's all on the line to advance to the round of 8.
There you see everybody passing by pit road.
Yeah, everybody feels like the tires they have on the trucks now are better than what they could put on. They would have to put tires on that they'd already run during the race.
Let's get an update on Nick Sanchez, Heather.
Well, I said earlier he was having communication issues with the team and not able to let them know what he needed as far as the handling of that race truck. And again, he's still having a little bit of issues. They told him, take your radios out of the case and put him back in if that happens again. But one thing that he's having to do on his own is actually spot for himself. So the trucks around him, he said, hey, I kind of know they're there, but I'm trying to do my best just not to cause a wreck here, and they said, hey, man, you're doing a great job, so keep up the good work.
Well, that's going to be a real issue on this restart when they're going to be 3 and 4 wide.
Wow, what a round one of the playoffs it's been. 3 great races, a lot of drama, a lot of intensity.
And great
Here we
race
are.
tracks, too.
And Michael Waltrip's truck. Take us around the country, Mikey.
Yeah, I'm going to take you from Indy up to Milwaukee, and then I'm going to run you out west a little bit to Kansas.
Where are you going then?
Oh, you watch this, Phil. We're going to go to Bristol. What about Bristol-Talladega combination?
In the same round?
Wow.
I want to go to the beach.
All right, let's go to
down
Miami.
to Homestead.
Miami.
South Beach, a little bit south of South Beach.
And then we're going to drop a trophy on this gang out in Phoenix. A lot of fun left for this season. It's been a lot of fun this year, but some more fun to come.
Absolutely. Across the line here with 10 laps to go. Corey Heim has led 32 laps tonight, but Nick Sanchez talked a lot about him. He's led the most tonight, 43 laps.
I guess that probably...
We'll go through the running order real quick here with 10 laps to go under the caution. Corey Heim will be the leader on the restart. Carson Hocevar's in second. Zane Smith in third. Nick Sanchez fourth. Christian Eckes fifth. Taylor Gray sixth. Matt DiBenedetto in a must-win situation, more than likely to make the playoffs, in seventh. Stuart Friesen in eighth. Tanner Gray ninth. And Raja Kruth is 10th. Jesse Love is 11th. Jake Drew 12th. And Tyler Ankrum will be the last truck in the lead lap after getting the free pass in 13th. Jake Garcia will restart 14th, first truck 1 lap down. Jack Wood in 15th, Grant Enfinger 16th. Dean Thompson 17th, Brett Holmes 18th, Colby Howard 19th, Chase Purdy in 20th. 21st, Ty Majeski, Daniel Dye 22nd, Timmy Hill 23rd, Lawless Allen 24th, and Bailey Curry 25th, Ben Rhodes in 26th, Chase James 27th, Caden Honeycutt 28th, 29th, Haley Deegan, Justin Carroll 30th. Spencer Boyd 31st, 32nd is Greg Van Alst, Mason Maggio 33rd, Matt Crafton 34th, Jennifer Jo Cobb 35th, and Spencer Davis in 36th. Now with Crafton 9 laps down, he is not going to be able to gain 10 plus positions, 11 positions to be exact, over Ben Rhodes to be able to make it into the playoffs. With him being that many laps down, unless we get multiple overtime restarts and a lot of drivers knock themselves out, which again still isn't impossible, but more than likely not going to happen for Crafton. As for Ben Rhodes, again, as far as drivers who are on the same lap as him, he could only lose potentially one more position to Chase Jeans, which means DiBenedetto would have to gain 8 positions on the racetrack, which isn't going to be possible. Considering he is in 7th, he would have to win anyway to get in. A win and you automatically advance per rule. So if Matt DiBenedetto can pull off a miracle here on this potential last restart, or the late going restarts, however many we get, and win this race, that is his only chance to make it into the round of 8 of the playoffs. Other than that, the playoff standings are pretty much already set and ready to go for next weekend's race at Bristol to begin the round of 8. Appreciate everybody that has tuned into the stream as of late. The Super Fast 100, thanks for tuning in. Union Pacific 4855 Rail Fan, thanks for tuning into the stream as well. As of the late going laps, Carswin Boy, I saw you earlier as well. Thank you for watching. Got just over 100 people watching as of right now concurrently, and we have just 63 likes, so be sure to hit that like button if you haven't done so yet, and again, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We have live commentary stream still coming up for this weekend's NASCAR Kansas event. The Xfinity Series live commentary stream tomorrow will begin at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our Cup Series race on Sunday will also begin at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see you for both of those races. Regular season finale for the Xfinity Series this weekend, and it'll be the round of 16 finale for the Cup Series on Sunday afternoon.
I'm not making it up, Phil. These guys will be 4 wide, and they're going to be pushing and shoving.
You know, Phil
Through the restart zone, 8 laps to go. Green flag back in the air. Corey Heim, Carson Hocevar in row 1. Heim is going to be able to try to block, it looks like, on the 38 of Zane Smith, who pushes him all the way into the first turn. Smith going to move to the outside lane of the racetrack. Heim going to go up to try to block. 38's going to get there, leaving the bottom open, but Heim does not allow for the 19 truck to get underneath him. Side by side for the lead down the backstretch into turn 3. Zane Smith with a big push from behind now by Hocevar. Hocevar trying to wedge his truck in between the 38 and the 11. Didn't have enough room to do so, and Heim clear for the race lead off turn 4. 7 laps to go at the line. DiBenedetto going to lose a spot. It looks like he's back to about 6th or 7th again. Caution is out on the front stretch as Raja Caruth will slide into the grass. With 7 to go, our 5th caution of the race, and we're going to stack and rack them up one more time. It looks like the 15 truck of Tanner Gray also parked against the outside wall following his crash. I would imagine that both he and Caruth got together there. Those were 2 trucks that were on the lead lap, too, so it's going to leave even less trucks on the lead lap to the end. And it looks like Jake Garcia will get the free pass position with the caution coming out. So Garcia will get back on the lead lap from 14th place. Caruth slid through the grass. Gray's got a lot of damage. Caruth's got some damage as well. He should be able to continue. I don't know about Gray, though. Looking to see exactly how that contact ended up taking place. Looked like the 1 actually got loose off of 4, and when he got into the wall, looked like Caruth checked up, and when he checked up, he got ran into from behind by Gray in an accordion effect.
Big time sideways. Raja sees it. He's right behind him. He backs off. Tanner doesn't see it, and it happens so quick that his spotter didn't even have time to tell him.
And when you say doesn't see it, you can't see it. You're driving right behind another truck. You can't see over the truck. So he was just a victim of circumstances.
It's another shot. Talked about Jesse Love and the one getting sideways.
Whoa, nice job by Daniel Dye. Did you see him just avoiding Gray there off down the front straightaway?
A lot of drivers did a nice job avoiding that.
Ben Rhodes just creeping by saying, all right, let's just run a few more laps and get out of here. Tanner Gray to pit road. There's the damage on the Wendell Scott Foundation, number 24 for Raja.
I think Tanner has a good chance of staying on the lead lap.
Thought I saw that right front wheel wobbling.
Was it? Yeah,
like
then
something was broke or bent in
that's
there.
not going to happen. They're looking at it pretty close. He also has a lot of damage on the left side as well.
Yeah, I think he's got big issues.
Yeah.
Zane Smith 2nd right now. Let's hear from his crew chief, Heather.
Here with Chris Lawson right now, and we're talking about how brutal this restart might be. So what's the risk versus reward, and how aggressive are we going to see Zane get?
I'd say max aggression, right? I mean, it's going for the win. I don't care that we still probably need to play it safe to lock ourselves into this next round. It's going for a race win. We got to do it. So I expect to see that out of them. Fun.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Max aggression. Let's do this. Who gets it? Corey Heim? The experience of Zane Smith?
Well, what I saw from Corey Heim when he ducked low off turn 4 and was able to grab the lead, even though he was side by side entering turn 3, that 11 right now is hitting on all cylinders. He's going to be tough to beat. But you put Carson Hocevar in a
Chance to win situation.
Late race restart, and he can smell victory lane. Watch the aggression from the 42 truck.
He knows he's locked in already.
And I love Chris Lawson's philosophy. Let's win. Let's go for the win. Now, again, he's 61 points now above the cut line as they run. The only thing could even happen to him was if Matt DiBenedetto would jump up there and win this race, then we'd have to do some math.
Well, Christian Eckes is in the 4th spot, Amanda.
And he's had a really good truck all day. His set has been balanced, it's been very consistent, but he's been racing with one thing on his mind, and that is a trim to the playoff mustache that he has been just completely upset with all weekend. I verified with the team if that's been a problem. He said, man, that's all we can hear about. So maybe we'll get a sight of this playoff mustache towards the end of this race.
How about we don't? No, I'm just kidding. He's got this clean-cut baby face, and he's rocking this mustache right now. But it worked for Martin Truex Jr. a few years ago with that whole team. They grew out those beards. Oh, my goodness, it was atrocious. But, hey, it worked for him.
I've seen some hockey teams now having you in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Those beards and missing teeth. No
I
thanks.
gotta tell you, I like the commitment. I like that he says, I'm going to rock it all the way to Phoenix, and this truck has been fast enough. McAnally Hoogeman Racing.
I hear you, Michael, but I still don't like it.
What about Stuart Friesen sneaking into the mix, too? We haven't seen anything from Stuart lately, Phil. It's been a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, if anybody needs a good run, it's Stuart Friesen. His last 4 races, 27th, his best finish. Oh, we're certainly used to seeing Stuart racing up front. He's back up front where he belongs right now.
He's probably won about 9 dirt races since he had his last top 10 in the truck series. That's a struggle, Heather.
Yes, it has been a struggle for Stuart Friesen, but so far tonight he's been happy. The only thing he's complained about is just being a little bit free in that race truck, but he did not make the playoffs. He has nothing to lose here tonight, so he's going for win number 1 on the season, and I believe we can expect to see Stuart Friesen mix it up here on this restart for sure.
Yep,
Early in the race,
Ben.
sorry, Jamie. Early in the race, I saw him down passing in the grass at the start-finish line.
Yeah, and it's going to be pretty close to NASCAR overtime here. 1 to go, so we'll have 2 shots at getting this race finished.
Choosing Jinx.
Yeah, it's fun to say together.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's technically not going to be overtime. We're going to finish at the prescribed distance if we don't have another caution flag.
That's the if that I said. That's
Covered his bases.
there's 2 chances that we finish this race. One, we don't have overtime, but certainly still a possibility. These guys go down into turn 1 on this restart, knowing what's on the line. I don't know what to expect.
How about Taylor Gray in 6th? We know he's an aggressive driver, a good driver. He could steal one here.
Jesse Love into the top 10. Jake Drew. I mean, that's just fun seeing these names bubble up to the top 10.
Yeah, Taylor had a great 3rd place finish at Pocono a few races ago.
I love the win or go home mentality, though, when we're talking about Matt DiBenedetto back in 7th, Zane Smith in the 2nd spot.
Don't think that Carson Hocevar isn't thinking the same thing, win or go home. Even though he's already locked in to the next round, it's all about the trophies.
2 laps to go. Playoffs pretty much already set and done for this round. As long as Matt DiBenedetto doesn't pull off an upset win, he'll be on the inside of row 4 for the restart. In the 7th place position on the front row, it's going to be Corey Heim and Zane Smith. Heim will be on the inside, Smith on the outside, Hocevar inside of row 2, Eckes outside of row 2. Green flag back in the air. It looked like Heim might have struggled getting through the restart zone just a bit. Gets a nice push, though, from Hocevar down into the first turn. Zane Smith getting pushed on the outside, though, by Christian Eckes. Still side by side for the race lead as they run through turns 1 and 2. Down on the bottom of the racetrack still is Heim. Zane Smith on the outside. They'll side draft each other quite a bit. Eckes in 3rd with a run. Looking to the outside of Zane Smith. He's going to get there. Corey Heim is almost clear, but not quite. 3 wide for the race lead. In the middle of turns 3 and 4. As they work their way up the corner, there's contact. Heim is going to get sideways and hang on to it. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. Still 3 wide for the lead as they nudge fenders into turn 1. A tight race to the finish between Heim, Smith, and Eckes. Eckes gets cleared. Smith to the outside. It's Corey Heim down on the bottom lane. Eckes with the crossover to the inside again. Slide job incoming from Eckes. Into turns 3 and 4. Can he clear the 38 of Smith? He's going all the way up the racetrack. Smith is sideways. He's in the wall. Eckes is clear. And Christian Eckes is going to win it at Kansas. What a finish as they are passing each other in the grass behind him. Taylor Gray sliding through to 2nd. Matt DiBenedetto in a must-win situation got up to 3rd. And that means Ben Rhodes is going to lock himself into the playoffs, getting that final spot on points in 25th, 2 laps down off the pace. A wild finish on a 2-lap green-white checkers showdown. They were 3 wide for almost the entirety of those last 2 laps. And Eckes clears Smith. Smith got nudged basically all the way up into the wall with the block. He held on to it until he couldn't. He fell all the way back to 5th place by the time he made the save off turn 4. But Christian Eckes is going to get the win, and what a win it was. He led 1 lap all day today. It was the last lap of the race, and of course, the most important. It looked like 2 laps led for Eckes today. I don't know where he led the other one before that. Oh, it might have been the white flag, actually, because they were 3 wide at the line. So he led 2 laps today. It was the last 2. And it wasn't easy. 5 more playoff points that will carry over for Eckes into round 2 starting at Bristol next week. So that was huge for that sake of things. And, of course, 2nd win of the year for Christian Eckes. Rhodes officially gets that final spot by 5 points over Matt DiBenedetto, who charged up to third in that 2-lap green-white checker run to the checker. A wild finish on a Friday night at Kansas. Here is your race winner, Christian Eckes.
All night long, he was top 5. Just made it all work at the end. And we know how wild the restarts are going to be late. And he just executed perfectly.
Gosh, the restarts are so exciting here.
Zane Smith, wow. What a save.
Didn't his first 2 wins of the season end under caution? I believe they were. He said, I just want to win in the regular distance of the race, and he did it here tonight.
What about his night vision? It was perfect.
It was perfect, Mikey. Bill McAnally smiling big somewhere. I'm sure he's not far. There's the checkered flag. That's what it's all about. Playoff racing.
And that's the way to do it, too. That's the way to win them.
Let's go! Let's go.
Here it is, the big unveil. There it is. America, you can decide for yourself. But that doesn't matter because it's all about the win, the excitement of it. And Amanda, you're with them.
Christian, what an extra special celebration here, and talking about opening up round 1 of this playoff for yourself. You punctuate it with a win. Walk us through the commitment of those last couple of laps. Wow.
Yeah, no, that was wild. I didn't know if I was going to win it or not. We had like a 6th-place truck all day, but that caution coming out, I knew we have a shot at it. And here we are. We haven't won in a really long time, so I wanted to kind of set the tone. And what a hell of a way of round 10, second, third, first. So can't beat that. Proud of all these guys.
We're taking a look at the replay from the end of this race, and I warned Jamie and the guys about the playoff mustache, but talk about the tone of that guy.
So, my crew guy, JR, made me shave it and trim it up this week. I didn't like it at all, but I guess I'm going to have to keep it. So, yeah, I'm just super proud of everybody. Napa Auto Care, Gates Hydraulics, Adaptive One. Man, it's awesome to be back in victory lane for sure.
Christian Eckes, your winner here in Kansas. Heather? And Matt DiBenedetto misses it by 5 points. You finished third. You gave it everything you had. Is there anything else you could have done differently on your end?
No, I don't think so. Honestly, this team fought so hard, worked their tail off to give me a good-looking truck and a good handling truck all night. So, man, we made the most of it for sure, and I'm just so thankful for these guys, Rackley Roofing, and we've got Kansas Land Tire and Service, who great friend. Josh's a great friend of mine. Having them on board so cool. And American Racing, I've bought tons of their wheels and stuff because I bought all kinds of cars. And Ready Lift, we just did a project with my truck at home with them, so this is a really cool special truck. I hate we missed it, man. It stinks we had an issue at Milwaukee and it took us out of it, and we could be in that next round, but this team, they deserve to hold their heads high for sure.
Thanks, Matt.
That's the cross between just passion and thankfulness and sadness. You know, you could tell by his interview that he just had so many emotions going on there, and that tells you how much racing means to these guys and how important it is to succeed and just push yourself forward.
Matt DiBenedetto is such an emotional driver, always wears his heart on his sleeve. I know this one will be tough for him. He knew that it was a steep road to hoe, but he gave it his all in a great interview. Coming up next, right here on FS1, the Joel Klatt Show, the Big Noon Conversation with Coach.
Go through the full field finishing order, some other race statistics here on our way out of the stream. Christian Eckes is going to get the win by 0.3 of a second as his margin of victory over Taylor Gray. Led again just 2 laps today, the final 2 there on that late race start. As for the other finishing spots behind him, again, Taylor Gray in second. Matt DiBenedetto, third place, as you heard from him moments ago, missing on the playoffs by 5 points to Ben Rhodes there late. Needed a win going into that final restart based off of where Rhodes was running, where he was at on track. Wasn't going to gain enough points to beat him that way. And came up close, 0.4 of a second behind Eckes is all the closer he was able to get here tonight. Corey Heim finishes in 4th. And Zane Smith rounds out the top 5, was battling for the lead on that final corner with Heim. They were 3 wide with Eckes obviously taking the dive bomb. They ended up 4th and 5th. Carson Hocevar finishes in 6th place, led a lot of laps today, got a stage win, so at least picked up on 1 playoff point. Stuart Friesen finishes 7th. Nick Sanchez won stage 1 of this race after starting very, very good, qualified 2nd. Led a lot of laps early, so he too gets a playoff point carrying over to the next round, as he will be in the next round. Jesse Love gets a top 10 finish today for Tricon Garage in the number 1 team, finishing 9th, and Tyler Ankrum rounds out the top 10. Jake Drew finishes in 11th, Jake Garcia 12th, Raja Garuth ends up 13th, he was the last truck on the lead lap. Chase Purdy finishes 14th, Dean Thompson 15th, Jack Wood 16th, Grant Enfinger 17th, 18th place finish for Ty Majeski, Colby Howard in 19th, and Brett Holmes finishes 20th. Bailey Curry ends up in 21st, 22nd, Wallace Allen, Daniel Dye in 23rd, Timmy Hill 24th, Ben Rhodes 25th, Tanner Gray 26th, Caden Honeycutt 27th, Chase James 28th, Justin Carroll 29th, and Haley Deegan finishes in 30th. Spencer Boyd ends up 31st place tonight. 32nd was Greg Van Alst. Matt Crafton 33rd, got in the wall there early in stage 2 and ended up finishing 9 laps down. Obviously never able to recover. Very off the speed after he got into the wall, just trying to stay in case one of those other playoff drivers DNF'd. Maybe he could have had a chance, but he ends up missing the final round by 11 points. Jennifer Joe Cobb ends up finishing in 34th, Mason Maggio 35th, and Spencer Davis rounds out the 36 truck field tonight. Only 2 trucks, D and F. That was Maggio and Davis in the running order. 1 hour, 47 minutes, and 42 seconds for the total time in today's race, which finishes under the 200-mile, 134-lap regulation. 109.74 miles per hour was tonight's average race speed, and the most laps led will go to Nick Sanchez, who won the first stage, as mentioned, led 43 laps today. Carson Hocevar, who won stage 2, led 32 laps. Corey Heim led 40 laps within the final stage, and again, your race winner, Christian Eckes, led just 2 laps in this race. Had a lot of different leaders during green flag pit cycling in that final stage. That's where most of these different leaders came from, but nevertheless, we still had 12 different drivers that led at least 1 lap in the race. And amongst those 12 drivers that led at least 1 lap in the race, it looks like we ended up having 19 lead changes amongst those 12 drivers as well. So that is where we stand there. And as for the playoff points, we get a reset. Round of 8 starting next Thursday night at Bristol. Corey Heim will be the points leader. Of course, he was the regular season champion, and he is going to be sitting pretty good on point standings right now. It's kind of weird the way that they're showing the points on FS1. I'm not sure exactly how many points Heim's going to be above the cutoff line because it doesn't really say how many playoff points each driver has. And the increments are behind Heim for some reason and not behind 4th, which for whatever reason would be obviously the championship 4 with just 2 rounds to go down to the final 4 races. Needless to say, we can do the math ourselves on the cutoff line outside of Corey Heim, and that would be that there is only a 2-point difference between 2nd and 5th in the standings. Christian Eckes, Grant Enfinger will start the final, the second to last round, I guess, the round of 8, 2 points to the good. Carson Hocevar, Zane Smith will be tied for the final spot. Hocevar has the tiebreaker because he has more wins this season, 3 wins for Carson, and Zane Smith obviously with just the 2 wins. Ty Majeski, he is going to be 6 points behind Hocevar and Smith to start the playoffs. Of course, had that penalty earlier in the week, which costed him 5 playoff points. Basically, his win at Milwaukee nullified starting this round. Ben Rhodes will start the round at 9 points below the cutoff line, and then Nick Sanchez will be the 8th seed. Good run for the rookie to make it through the first round. We'll see if he can make it through round 2 as well, as he will start the next round 16 points below the cutoff line. So that is your playoff standings outlook going into Bristol again on Thursday night. As for the truck race next Thursday, I will be there, so there will be no live commentary for the Truck Series, Xfinity Series, or Cup Series races at Bristol next week, but there will be race highlight videos from the grandstands. You can still listen to live commentary for this weekend's NASCAR events at Kansas, as we have the NASCAR Xfinity Series commentary stream starting tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That race will be on the main NBC, so your local NBC affiliate for that one. But you can listen live here again at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. We'll also be live on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Cup Series race, which will be the second race of the round of 16 of the playoffs. And again, the Xfinity race will be the regular season finale. Thank you for watching the stream here tonight. Appreciate everybody that had tuned in. And it looks like there was a couple other interviews when I paused the stream, so you might have listened to it already if you're watching the race live. But here is the final couple interviews of the night before we end it. Matt Crafton standing in first.
issues with getting into the wall, but just can you kind of assess you and your team's effort to try to make it to the next round?
Our team did a great job. I mean, it all comes down lap 2 in practice when the 9 truck wrecked, and they did a pathetic job of cleaning it up, and we ran through the debris when we went back out there. They weren't in a rush in practice, but hey, I mean, it is what it is. And we got the cards were dealt, and it folded really crappy for us. But at the end of the day, we had some speed. We missed travels right there a little bit, got on the splitter, but we weren't terrible, and just kept putting stopper in the left front and finally got it off and managed. And when it jumped sideways off too, it hadn't done that all night, and it just caught me off guard. But yeah, I think these guys, they worked their butts off today just from practice, wrecking that truck in practice, and then wrecking during the race. And it wasn't meant to be. We'll go on and do it again next year.
Amanda? By 5 points, Ben Rhodes is going to be racing in round 2 of this playoff, and Ben, it was not pretty. How hard of a drive was that for you?
Yeah, we were edgy all day long ever since we unloaded, and we kind of were predicting that it was going to come to us in the race, and it kind of went the opposite way. I usually judge like a scale of like 0 to 5 for the truck, and we were about a 4 loose at one point. So I got to do some research and talk to the guys if we ended up having a tire going down that caused me getting the wall, or if it was just a mistake on myself. But mixed emotions tonight for this Kubota Ford F-150 team. You know, the expectation is to make it to the next round. So just meaning the expectation isn't necessarily a cause for celebration. So, I mean, we're happy to advance, but at the same time, we've got to smooth out some rough edges and make sure that we're, you know, bringing, I don't know, less mistakes and faster, more comfortable trucks.
Well, Jamie, he'll get his wish. He will race at Talladega.
They did all they had to do just to make it to the next round. And speaking of the round of 8, we've got Bristol coming up next Thursday, then Talladega.
Yeah, so next 3 races of the round, as Jamie was getting into, Bristol Thursday night next week. Then they'll have a week off before they go to Talladega the week after. And then they will have a 2-week break before they go to Homestead, and then a week off before the championship at Phoenix. So that is the last 4 races of the Truck Series season. And we will have live commentary for the last 3, just not next week at Bristol. Thank you for tuning in, though, here tonight. Appreciate it, everybody. Be sure to hit that like button if you haven't on the stream yet, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our NASCAR Xfinity Series coverage. Hope to see you then. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good rest of your Friday night.